They call me Mr. Snow.
It did snow
Did they
here.
call you Snowman?
Snowman.
Oh, they call me Snowman. They call me late for dinner. They call me everything. But yeah, Derick Snow with one R. There's only 1,000 ways to spell Derick,
She thought it was.
but
She
Derick Snow
thought
is easy
it
to
was
remember.
spelled Dereck.
That-
But I didn't.
I'll
But
tell
I
you
didn't
what.
tell you.
There's so
I
many
didn't
ways
tell
to
you how to
spell
spell
that.
it though.
Yeah, it's all good.
Everybody
I've seen
misspells my
the
name.
the worst one. I saw Direek, and that's I was confused, but that's Derick.
Oh my goodness.
I like to think of it like almost Spanish. I'm like Derick, like Derick. Oh, spicy.
So we are here with Derick Snow, as you guys can see right there in the screen that is right over there where I'm pointing. Right there. Um, Derick is awesome. Clearly, you had a bit of a recording little thing before we started. So glad that you took time out of your day to talk to two nerdy girls today.
Yes, recording for a project that will announce tomorrow. So,
Ooh.
oh, I could talk about it,
Fun!
but
Uh-oh.
here,
Oh man. Now, for those of you who don't know who Mr. Derick Snow is, he has been in. He's wouldn't say he's relatively new to the anime game, but for those of you who have not watched Fire Force, definitely watch it. I'm ready for season 2. I want to see what happens. I'm excited for it.
I'm one of the people who have not watched Fire Force.
Shame!
that's okay. That's okay. I have great news. You can check it out if you have Hulu. Not only is it on Funimation, it's been playing on the airwaves over at Cartoon Network Toonami on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
DVR and I record shows.
He
And
watches other stuff.
I
It's all good. Once some people wait until the whole season's over. I mean, it's literally still like it has technically ended over on Funimation now, but it's still got 1 or 2 episodes on Toonami, so it's all good. You can just catch up when you want.
See?
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So Fire
for
Force,
you,
yeah, that was
I've
the
already seen it all.
that was the first good times when it hit. But I mean, earlier stuff. I've been basically doing working with Funimation for. Okay, it sounds like a long time. I started about 5 years ago, but it's not like I started doing like a lot of work 5 years
Yeah.
ago. I did the first thing I did was a great anime called Noreen, where I was a Kei Kamatori, and then but because I think it was originally a DVD release, it was like a year from when I first recorded that, and then it is kind of a slice of life thing, and it was a nice slow burn into slowly creeping into doing really awesome stuff. I think the first really cool Raws that just kind of made me smile was
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
creeping up.
That was her.
That was my phone. That was my phone.
That was her
I am
phone.
sorry.
She.
That's why it's I make sure when I'm in the recording booth to put my phone on silent and airplane mode, but it's hard to do when you're streaming that stuff with your
True.
technology. It gets complicated.
So
I usually turn the sound off so
Yeah,
it doesn't
normally
interrupt.
We would do that, but I think she forgot because we were trying to get other voice actors to come to our neck of the woods
Right.
at local cons. So it's hard trying to get
It's
some of you
creeping
guys
up.
booked.
Yeah, it's creeping up. The best way. I mean, you probably know. Just the best way to get those cons going is just get in touch with your favorite con and ask for our people your favorites by name. It takes a while though, because those the process is kind of a long, because they got to get those contracts in, and
Everything's
it's
gotta
a
be
it's a
finalized.
tricky process, but those with a strong determination can eventually get going on those
Me?
conventions. Yeah.
Me?
She was the one that was bugging
I bugged Colossal Con.
until they told her to please stop. Please stop.
And they said they're trying to get their GR team to work as quick as possible to try to get these guys fight and be like, well, your GR team ain't working fast enough.
Dang it.
So, what originally got you into acting?
Oh goodness. Well, the first play I was ever in. I lived in Alaska when I was a kid. Point Barrow, and at the school, Paluk Elementary, I was Max in Where the Wild Things Are. And I was dressed in a precious little fox outfit, and I looked so precious. I'm not gonna say it was my best role, because I don't think it was, but it was fun. The first oh goodness. Okay, so let's say so in about 1999, when wanted to do some cool stuff, the very first voiceover stuff I ever did was for a game called Half-Life Redemption for the Counter-Strike box set. Man, that's old. And I managed to, that was like, it started out as a fan project, but then got picked up by the publisher Sierra, and then it came out as a big box thing, and that was cool. And then just I'll tell you what, voiceover was a different beast back in the day. It was hard to get representation. Like 1999, God, that's
Long
a
time
long
ago.
time ago. Long time ago, and I got into doing other stuff. I started doing commercial work, and then I was doing. I got into musical theater, where I toured with an awesome lady. Her name is Kathy Rigby.
I know who
She
she
did
is.
Peter Pan. Yeah, I was Shmee in Peter Pan with Kathy Rigby for several years, because I'm a little guy. And man, it was awesome. That was like the first time I worked with like some really awesome, to me, big names like Broadway actors like Tom Hewitt and Robert Westenberg, and of course Kathy Rigby. She's just awesome. And gosh, I rode that Peter Pan train for several years, and then went back to Los Angeles, and I was doing mostly, yeah, commercial work. But man, that, yeah, I would say like Peter Pan, that was the first big thing, and that was at about 2003 when I realized that, man, I could do something with this. But it was a very long process before my wife and I moved into the Dallas area to do. I had anime in mind when I got here, and it was I knew a couple of people. There's this awesome voice actor. His name is Brian Massey. Uh, he's got a really memorable voice, and I had worked on a movie with him because I'm kind of a character actor. And he was doing, Dragon Ball and all kinds of other wacky stuff. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be weird.
Have you ever?
And
I
yeah, it was great. And then, yeah, I had a reel. I submitted to, through various things, and one thing led to another, and I auditioned, and then nothing happened, and then I auditioned again, and nothing happened. But then something happened, and it
it
kept
takes a
happening.
few times.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Yeah, the trick is just don't screw up. Eventually, like just working hard and getting to know this, and doing the training. I was, and not just voiceover. I was acting in lots of different kinds of things, from commercial to, theater to all kinds of stuff. And it's amazing, if you keep it up, you start planting these seeds with the right
Mhm.
people, and you start to get to know the right
Yep.
people, and then suddenly, like, they're casting you and stuff. It's crazy. Like when I did Fire Force, I'd actually worked with the ADR director, Kyle Phillips, on a couple of other great projects. What was he? Dance with Devils was a musical
Oh, I've
anime,
heard of that one.
and yeah, I was a real sexy, shape-shifting Pomeranian. Yeah, I started out with that audition. I did the singing audition, and he had some other people in mind for like the main roles. But then he just says, "Oh, hey, Derek, can you bark like a dog?" And I said, "Yeah, I can bark like a dog." And I bark like a dog. It was so good. And then that little character never went away from the series. They ramped up, and then they threw songs at him in the show. They didn't know any of this stuff when they were streaming it. And then, yeah, it became like a big bad guy of the show. It was just from a dog bark.
Oh man.
And then eventually, I kept not screwing up, and he cast me in some other stuff, and I did a fairy tale. He did some direction on that. I was a wall hito on that, and that was kind of like in the range of Shinra Kusakabe, kind of in that character. And then when I came to audition, basically he said, "Man, it was your role to lose," which kind of made me feel good because like you go into an audition, you don't know I never expect to get anything, but then magic
Oh
happens.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Fire Force was has been good to me so far. It's been excellent.
Nice.
I like screaming.
Yeah, and working on Fire Force, you actually got to work with some. I would say I wouldn't call. I've actually, you know what? I'm gonna call them OGs of voice acting. Caitlin Glass being one of them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Caitlin. She's great. She's also the ADR director on a show that I'm working on called Radiant.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
And
that.
I play a little tiny dragon named Mr. Boobry, and he doesn't even use words. I'll give you a little impression of Mr. Boobry. He's like, and that's it. That's all he does.
Kind of reminds me of
And
Abu from
it's
Aladdin.
like
Just
a little
sound
bit, yeah.
effects.
It's not too far. I mean, he's precious. He's precious. He's a precious little critter. And no lines. It's just like therapy. You're just stream of conscious, just screaming. That's some of the magic of anime. You never quite know what you're gonna do when you go in and record one of those things on the first day, and then you see this character like, okay, let's fake it and just come up with a character, and then an audition goes well, and then you're a weird
Yeah.
dragon.
And also Eric Vale, who plays Arthur Boyle, which is your rival.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great on this show. I love his delivery on everything. He's just
I
so
hear he likes
fun.
to mess around when he's there.
Yeah. He's the king of like just
Tomfoolery.
asides and like on the second take he'll just be very silly, and yeah,
He likes to
he's a
play
really fun
pranks
guy.
and joke
Goofball.
around.
I'm very fortunate. Yeah, no pranks on me, man. So.
Knock on wood.
Nope.
Knock on wood.
There we go. Yeah, definitely the series of Fire Force. I've currently watched all of it when it was streaming on Funimation. I looked forward to seeing it every week when it was streaming, and now I'm looking forward to season 2, which would sometime be happening, this year. I'm looking forward to it, seeing more of Shinra and Arthur, and then all the other characters involved in Fire Force. But yeah, when you mentioned Fairy Tale, when we were looking through your roles, mostly Shar was looking through them because she didn't know. We kind of didn't know much about you either. And the only reason I knew about you is because we were like, oh, he's Shinra. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. That
The
happens.
reason why
Okay,
I
so
know
in
you.
Black Clover, yeah, Black Clover's also a fun. Like everything's basically all the bigger stuff kind of happened like in the last 2 years, which is very recent in terms of like people that love that OG old school anime stuff. They start bringing up classics, and I'm like, nope, I'm not into that. But I like it.
Well, the reason why I know you is because you're in My Hero Academia, which I thought the character,
the Psych guy.
which the character you play, I thought it was Chris Ayres.
I thought it was Greg Ayres.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Greg Ayres.
Greg
Greg
Ayres.
Ayres, yes.
We thought it was
I-
Greg Ayres.
I
because
thought
you
it was
guys
Greg
kind of had the same
Ayres.
voice pitch. I'm trying to think. I think it was Full Metal Lover here on Unlock thought that it was Nagisa from Free. I'm thinking like, no, that's not Greg. You guys have like the same vocal
Yeah,
pitch. Almost.
yes, you have the
Just a
same
little
vocal
bit.
pitch.
Well, that's just kind of one of the things, the more successful you get at doing what's the word? Because there tends to be a lot of high school dramas in anime.
Oh, yeah.
And you walk into a place and they're like, oh man, you're gonna be a high school kid
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got it, as long as I get paid for it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, with the way your voice sounds, do you get recognized easily at certain places, or?
It's been very recent. I do I live in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and I've occasionally been happy to do like murder mystery dinner theater and stuff. Caitlin Glass has also worked with this same company that I work with, and because she's an awesome theatrical person, And but this person, they heard me talk, and they're like, wait. At this point, I was doing a row in Dragon Ball Super, uh, which is like the Grand Poobah, the ninth universe,
Grand Poobah.
and it had just aired. It's like, wait a minute, wait, do you do Dragon Balls? Like, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh. And then just one tiny Google, and they lost their mind. I'm like, I was on that edge for a while, and then just Shinra kind of lives on the edge of my the voice range because he's a little higher, he's a little raspier, um, and who is it? Mimic. He's just all over
Oh
the
yeah.
Oh
place.
yeah.
He really uses Colleen, the director. Boy, it is a really incredible challenge to do that show because he kind of starts way up here, and then well, I'm not gonna blow out my vocal cords because then
He gets
he becomes a
He
big.
gets
building,
dropped all the way
right?
down
This
here.
huge, you know, incredible, like my lowest register that I can do.
So like he can be high and bubbly when he wants to be, but then when you tick him off the wrong way, you go like, go to seal your
And
doom.
well, the thing is, like, when he's in his little precious little mimic outfit, he goes high, but then he gets mad, and so it screams and then goes low. Like it's weird it's okay to hit low if you're like warmed up to it, and it's okay to hit high if you've warmed up to it, but like going from high to low all in one scream. Now that is always interesting, especially if you ever so slightly pronounce Japanese words ever so slightly wrong. Then you get to redo it.
Oh yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Fun.
Yeah.
You wanted to ask him something, Char?
um. Okay, so since you started voice acting in anime, has
Mhm.
it changed you or enriched your life in any way?
Well, has it enriched my life in any way? I must say, I've gotten to know, like, as I've gone up, not exactly through the ranks at Funimation, but as I've gotten to know some of the other people that kind of started, uh, I always kind of called myself like a pinch hitter initially. Like, I'll just come in and knock out a couple of hits, and then my character dies or something. That's just the inevitable bad guy arc in animation. So like me and other people are, kind of in that same area for a little while. I've gotten to know some of those people, and you start to hang out, and then occasionally you start to get to know like some of the other people that have been working there longer. But yeah, I've made some pretty like nice friendships here because everything kind of happens in the not everybody records, but like Kellen Goff, who is the main bad in My Hero as over for Overhaul. Yeah, we've hung out a few times, and every time he comes into town because he lives in L.A. It's just been great times. It's just nice to have. You'd be surprised, you know. Usually when you go in, it's just you and your director, and you hear the other people, but there's not exactly a lot of socialization that goes on when you're in the halls of, say, like a recording studio like Funimation or other studios in the area. So it's like you hear everybody, and then occasionally, if you're lucky, you run into them at cons, and then you develop your relationships there. But I've made some nice friendships with other like my fellow thespians. Not all of them, but it's nice to it's been that in particular is always just my favorite part. Like, I like the human side of the acting. That's kind of one of the reasons why people get into theater, because I feel like it's more of a social thing sometimes between the scenes than being on stage. In terms of like other enrichment, I mean, it's I've only been I feel like once Fire Force kicked in, the my Twitter game had to like go up a
Oh
couple of
yeah,
notches.
yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, well, then I get to interact with people, and they ask me very specific questions about stuff, and that's pretty
Uh huh.
cool. Because before on my Twitter, you know how everybody made a Twitter like 10
Oh
years ago.
yeah.
I made one tweet like, hello, Twitter, and then
That's it.
it just sat there for like 10 years, whatever. But yeah, like in the last year, it's just been really nice to communicate with people that appreciate the work and appreciate anime and in particular properties I've worked on, or just general my artsy side. Just it's fun to. It's been really nice to be able to reach out and talk and just kind of shoot the breeze with fellow people that just love anime and love the process of acting, voice
Oh
actors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been nice.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah, your turn.
So, have you experienced any, I would say, like fun interactions with fans? Have you seen fans cosplay as like Shinra or any characters from Fire Force at local cons? Like, has that caught on? Like a lot of other popular animes, like My Hero, a bunch of others that I can try
I
to
have,
remember but can't.
yeah, Shinra was easy. Like week one, I saw multiple people, going all in with Shinra and all the other awesome characters. Yeah, but it's always nice when you see somebody in that, put on their sharp teeth and their fun wig and just go to town with, their nice Shinra poses. If you ever seen any of those poses, yeah, they're very like athletic and almost ballet-esque or breakdancing type moves. I've seen some great stuff with that. I want to see a bunch of breakdancers do their best Shinra Kusakabe.
Oh.
I would
Like
love
they're
to see that.
like they're on fire. Just go down. Yeah, and I've seen a little bit of a mimic Joy Ironaka on My Hero. It's just usually they have to find somebody big because he's just a little fella. Initially, the mimic, he's just a little guy, so they usually like some tiny, nice, awesome person that's dressed up as a mimic. I really want to see now that the thing is developed and people have seen like his strange quirk as he can like embody things. I want to see like crazy muscle arms sticking out. I want to see like a bodybuilder dress up as mimic. That would be
I
pretty
would
cool.
probably be the
I'll be
cute
looking for
version
that.
of Mimic if I had the chance to dress up. I would definitely pull off Mimic.
That's usually what happened because he's such in his little mimic in the little costume. He's so precious. He's such a precious boy. That's where all of
Are
the
you
fan
sure
art
he's a
in that
boy?
lives. People have made. Well, I mean, he turns into a building and then he gets out of the costume and he kind of looks like a wrestler, like a WWF wrestler. Or he's got crazy hair. He's all angry and roided out.
He's like
He
he's like over
crazy.
9,000
He's
bucks.
not as
That's what he
precious
is.
outside of the outfit, unfortunately.
Um, what kind of training or uh, schooling did you get prior to any acting?
Well, so when I was first getting started, I did take a lot of audition classes, commercial and film audition, how to be real in the moment, and you'd be surprised at how using your voice is a part of that. Um, how to embody that, how to use things like your diaphragm, and then I took I took voice lessons when I was doing musical theater, and just being able to support your entire from your diaphragm all the way up to the top part of your mask, just singing. It's incredible. You use all of that stuff when you're behind a microphone for like Funimation, especially if you're doing charactery voice, like cartoony voices, how to be able to support this little pipsqueak thing that turns into a scream. You don't just do it in your vocal cords, you shred them up. You also use like your diaphragm. Uh, and so I did that when I was getting into musical theater. Um, and also, I worked in, before I ran away completely to join the circus of acting, I worked in television production. Like, I had a regular, yeah, I had a regular human job, like I said. I was working at various TV stations as a production assistant designer, eventually an editor and director, and then I got tired of that. I kind of got burnt out. But like along that way, I was also doing announcing and sports like voiceover stuff, and that I did that. I was this thankless commercial voiceover stuff, semi-pro for several years before I took the big leap oh about 8 or 9 years ago into acting full time. It was a big crazy leap, but yeah, just along that way, yeah, I've just continually trained. I think it's always great just to those like you take an acting class or I've never done like specifically a how to be an anime voice actor, but I've taken other voicing classes.
So you're saying you haven't done like a
And
master class or something like certain voice actors have, like Steve Bloom, Chuck Huber's done one.
well, not specifically. I did when I was in Los Angeles. Like I said, I did a lot of film side auditioning and workshops. I did a lot of those workshops. I also worked with some improvisational workshops on how to improvise during a sequence. And I've always been a pretty good teleprompter reader, which means you can read the dialogue in big clusters as you're going, which has been an incredible asset to me, especially once you get into a booth for anime, because you're trying to match up, one screen over here is the video, and then one screen over here is your script, and somehow you've got to combine them. You're like looking over here, you're looking over
Mm-hmm.
there.
Double take.
With my speed reading classes I took when I was a little kid, I was amazingly able to just kind of look at a paragraph and then just get it, and then look at the screen, which is an excellent skill to
Oh
have.
yeah.
Very, because it ain't easy.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
um, yeah, I mean, I highly recommend whatever kind of classes that a person takes, as long as they are, personally, there's lots of different ways to get to where I've gotten. Like, you couldn't possibly do the exact path I took because it's mine, it'll
Oh
never
yeah.
be
Yeah.
anybody else.
Everyone's path is different.
Um, yeah, everybody's different. Everybody finds success, or even if you did it the exact same way, you might fail just because there's a lot of random and other people that are casting that kind of come into play. But you learn things like there's different methods of acting. That's been very helpful. When I was taking those classes, there's lots of different methods, Stanislavski, all these other things. And when I was in school, I did several different styles of that. Um, and just starting with my first gig with Funimation, I booked a lead role, which was I was doing other animation at the time. I was doing a different cartoon that wasn't anime that never came out. But I recorded 36 episodes of this big series that was they got greenlit, got paid a big old amount of money for it, and then it just
Hmm.
disappeared. But I just happened to be in Dallas when I was auditioning, and I felt like I was hot stuff. That's how it goes in, when you're doing that audition, like, oh man, I booked all this other stuff already. Watch this, and then I was ignorant enough. That's a big
Hmm.
thing. Be Don't beat yourself up too much during the process. You got to have this little just beautiful ignorance during the process, because I auditioned and I just made some crazy choices during this initial audition for with Mike McFarland for that first show, No Ream. And I booked it, and it was a number 3 character on the show, which was like, all right, I didn't know that was special or anything, but like I immediately started working, and like you're going in instead of just a couple hours, you're in the booth for 5 or 6, and that was just working is an excellent trainer for sure, because you don't want to screw up.
That's true.
True.
You're getting paid, don't screw up. Act like a
Yes.
professional. Working on films, I've done lots of other films and stuff on camera, and you'd be surprised just the general professionalism that is required on set translate translates quite well into the booth. Yeah. Have you guys ever gone to any workshops or anything
No,
like
I
that?
No,
have
we have
not.
not.
But we have gone through um media school.
Yeah.
So we know what
Ah,
goes on relatively
Behind
behind the
the scenes.
scenes, because we know how to make radio commercials,
Promos.
promos, TV. I want to say music videos,
Mhm.
um,
We know how to. I mostly know how to
websites.
work. Yeah, websites. I'm more of like a techie kind of person. So whenever we
awesome.
go on the air, I'm the one that's always in front of the main two computers, and then make sure all of our levels are good, and everything else. So
She runs the board. I do the talking.
yeah. Well, we.
One of the great things about doing like being a little bit technical is because I worked in production, even though it was television, it translates pretty nicely to doing like audio
Uh-huh.
production and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Just doing self-recording or self-auditions at home, man, it's just so easy compared to, I don't know, other people, because I know all the like keyboard shortcuts and like the concepts of recording and cutting and slicing and a quick render, quick turnaround. It's very helpful because I don't have to pay anybody
True.
else to do it.
I have to ask this question.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
do you know? What kind of uh uh
She stumped.
do they use Adobe and
No, no,
Funimation?
it's on, it's Apple. It's
So they use Final Cut Pro. Is that what they use?
no, 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 no. It's not Final Cut. Oh boy, it's the other one. Pro Tools, Pro Tools.
I think my brother
Yep.
has the free version of
I
that.
don't think
Yeah,
I've
Pro
heard of
Tools,
that one.
and man, I've personally only tinkered with Pro Tools, but the engineers, well, the engineers over there, they're so good at like the keyboard shortcuts. I'm just watching them. I lean real hard on those incredibly talented people when I'm in the booth, because man, they make me sound great. It's harder than one thinks to perfectly match every flap, especially if there's little hitches and stuff. They do incredible work and make me look way better than I really
Yeah,
am.
without nerds, where would we be in the world?
No, yeah, I'm so like, it's not just me for at all that makes an anime good. Thank goodness, because there's an incredible ADR director, and then you've got an engineer, or, an audio engineer that's helping. Like they hit the recording, they edit things, so and they're talking with each other, and then there's they do a monitor, they check out the episode at the end, and just kind of check all these little things. It's incredible. There's this whole orchestra that's going on behind the
Oh yeah.
scenes. It's excellent. It makes me feel a little more confident, because it's not all on me. It's not even like, especially with the director, because they tell me we're sculpting together. This each scene as quickly as possible, and it's a great challenge.
Very true.
So I know you've done TV and a little bit on camera.
Yeah.
Because I looked at your Internet Movie Database. Sorry.
Well, don't say you're sorry. We do it with all the voice actors we potentially
Yes.
want to get on here. We want to know every.
And that's how you know. That's
credential
how you get to
that
know about
they do.
people. So I see you did. So this is Christmas. Oh, that's nice.
So, what are the major differences between stage, on camera, and voice acting?
Go.
Okay. So when you're on stage, the rehearsal process is probably my favorite part of it, because it can be, bless you, I think.
I had to cough.
That was her. That was her.
Oh, but either way, thank you.
You're welcome. So it's like it can take weeks or months to produce a show. So there's a lot of downtime, and so you're getting to know all your fellow actors, and then you work everything you can into this one moment, and then when you're live on stage, that's it. Everybody in that audience gets to see that, and then it's gone forever. It's an excellent feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it's very freeing to have that moment only for those people, and they'll never see it again, but it's just in their mind's eye. And then you've gotten to know these people over the course of months. Television and film, it's a lot more short order, particularly, like, I've done a lot of commercials. You just like, at best you might have like a 2-day 3-day shoot for a commercial. You show up memorized. You have to have like an idea what you're gonna do. You just do it, hopefully in like a couple of takes, and then everything's done. You meet the people on set, and it's great, and then you don't see it for months. And so then you forget what you did. and then editors make you way better, and there's all this beautiful lighting, and you're like, oh, that's pretty. I don't remember doing that at all. Good job.
I don't remember that lighting being there behind me.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that flying duck behind me.
Exactly. Yeah, they're adding, like, you've got digital effects or something. You have no idea what's going on in the scene. Like, particularly for a movie, sometimes those can last for a couple of months, and that kind of in that same feel of theater a little bit, except there's no rehearsal process. You just show up, you do your scene, and then they turn around. It's a very long process. It's like hurry up and wait, because you get ready, and then the lighting guy takes like 4 hours to set this light above your head, and you've got to be ready to go like any second. As soon as they're ready to go, you've just got to turn your magic on, and then you never see that footage once again for like a year if it's on a movie, and you're just like, I don't know what happened. And then you see like, oh, how nice. Hopefully it's a good movie.
I think
And then
now it takes less time to edit a movie than what it did years ago.
I
yeah,
feel like it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's really like the thing that makes a movie take forever these days is like just distribution, you know? If they don't have a distribution yet, then you've got to go on the like the short film circuit, or you go to like the festivals, and then boy, that still takes a while. Those festival circuits. I've done some like indie films and some slightly bigger stuff, mostly TV. Um, like I did. I had the pleasure of doing lots of small stuff when I was in LA. I did Scrubs.
You were in
Um,
Scrubs?
What?
back in like back in like season
Oh my
3.
gosh.
I think
Now
it
we
was
gotta go
season
back and
3.
watch it.
I was for like in a hospital, and you get all these you get some lines, and then they get edited out, and then you don't know what happens, and you see yourself. I'm in it. Like there's a great look, but I also did another scene where I was like the dad who's or the son of a dad who died, but I'm like extra wacky and flamboyant,
Oh.
and
You're
that
that
got
special child.
completely
Oh
cut.
my
Who
gosh.
knows? It's just gone. It's just on the floor, and you're like, okay, well, I got paid at
Oh,
least.
okay.
Or
Yeah.
I was a body double for a 14-year-old boy for a show because I'm short. I'm 5'5". I am what I am. I like myself.
I'm
Yeah,
5 foot, so I can
had
relate.
yeah. He had this perfect. I had his perfect jawline, except he was a little huskier, and he had a mullet.
Oh
So they
no.
like put in my hair. They believed in this show so much they shot the whole season, and so it was excellent. Like the pay was good. It aired one episode, and it was so bad they canceled it. They didn't even release it on
Oh
DVD. It was just
no.
yeah.
Oh man, that stinks.
But man, everybody was in that. Like it was a great show. It was called Clubhouse. You've never heard of it, and that's okay because it wasn't good. But it had Christopher Lloyd, the kid from the live-action Peter Pan, Dean Cain,
What?
executive produced by Mel Gibson. Man, believed in that. It was so bad, did not go anywhere.
It's probably on the internet floating somewhere.
Oh, probably,
YouTube's got
yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. Once it was like, streaming happened for Scrubs. I was like, I'm in this. Oh, there it is, and then you can just see the episode. And it's like, wow, that's weird. I love it. Yeah, but like, okay, so we're getting back to like the difference. So for anime, it's interesting because now we have these simulcast and simuldubs and stuff. And from the first time, my first project, which took like a year for it to release, to nowadays, it's incredible. For some projects, I'm recording a week before, and then it airs maybe 2 weeks later. It's crazy. Not all projects are like that, but like, boy, that's pretty incredible. Like the turnaround that you can do on some dubs. That's pretty cool because like that's immediate gratification right there.
Okay, so out of the three, which ones do you enjoy the most?
Oh, it's hard to pick a baby, but yeah, which baby to throw overboard? Let's see. I mean, see, the funny thing is, commercials probably pay the most because, like, national commercials, once they start like airing, you get paid excellent. In films, you can still get residuals. I still get paid from some of those
Oh
wacky
my.
movies on IMDb. Uh, the what's I mean, see, what's been greatest to me though is easily my latest, most recent anime dubs and stuff. Like it's not necessarily uh, quite the money of commercial work, but like it's all the kudos. And sometimes that really gets you going. It's nice to be appreciated for
Oh,
your
yeah.
work.
Yeah, big time.
You can do this incredible film, and then like one person sees it, and that's a little sad.
That stinks. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always here's my answer. Yeah. Here's my political answer. I'm always the most excited for what my current project is, because I'm all in wherever whichever project that I'm doing. So like, man, I'm so enjoying uh anime and voiceover right now. It's been excellent to me. And with voiceover, it doesn't matter that I'm 5'5". I can be as tall as I want in
Oh yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
Except for Shinra. He's just shorty like me. Whatever.
Okay, so out of what I would say, which anime character do you relate to the most that you have voiced?
Ooh, okay. So there was this one anime that I did called Kino's Journey, where I was a motorcycle named Hermes.
I saw that. I was like, he was a motorcycle?
Well,
There you go. Yeah, I'm the motor rad.
he was a
Hermes.
Pomeranian, so a motorcycle is somewhat of a step
Yeah.
up when you think about it.
You do what you can. But hey, he's a talking motorcycle, so that means in anime I didn't have to match any flaps, which was excellent.
That every time I hear that, I'm like, if there's no flaps, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I love acting, and I love trying to get interesting pacing out of a scene, and sometimes that's really tricky when you've got these exact flaps. I love it's a great challenge too. I don't say no to that, but it was Hermes was about as sincere version of myself as I've been able to do. Because he's such I don't know, I really liked just the sincerity of him, his character. I say he, it's a motorcycle, the motorcycle's character. But in terms of therapy, my most therapeutic character has easily been Dr. Danny on Angels of Death. You probably haven't seen that one, but it's a little violent. It's a well, not exactly a love story, a friendship story between this this murderer and like this girl, and I'm this character named Dr. Danny. I'm like a therapist, and he seems really nice, but then he just goes off the deep end.
Oh.
And I highly recommend, if Halloween ever when it creeps around, you got to check out Angels of Death, because it's intense, but it's really good. I love Angels
I'll
of
have
Death.
to put that on my
And it's
anime
like-
watch list for themed Halloween's
Mhm.
theme stuff to watch on holidays. Your character kind of reminds us of Chuck Huber's Dr. Stein, where he's calm, cool, and collected, but yet he can go off the deep end if you push him the wrong way.
Dr. Danny really likes eyeballs. That's his
Oh.
thing.
Oh.
And
Ew.
he's got this
Talk about it, I got my
they
eye
very,
on
very-
you.
they very subtly started introducing this word. So just open up your peepers, Rachel. And then it goes crazier. He loves peepers. Peepers.
That reminds me
Somebody
of Kill Bill
decided
last.
to take
Oh.
somebody decided to take all the times I said peepers on that show, and then they just compress it into one YouTube video. And when I'm feeling down, I just play that video. Just peepers.
Yeah,
And of course, I mean, come on, Shinra Kusakabe is such a good boy. He's such a hero, and he's such a badass. But also, like, he pulls people together. Man, he's great. I love embodying Shinra. He's just so good. And my favorite moments are when he's just having these little moments with his new family over at Company 8, at the Fire Force firehouse. And I love those moments. Like, that is probably some of my favorite scenes that I've been able to do. I mean, of course, you've got your big battles and stuff, but I love those little slice of life moments.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to season 2 of Fire Force. I'm so pumped for it. Bring it on already.
And I don't want to spoil it for you, but so many revelations, especially in the last like four episodes of Fire Force, just
Yeah.
with his family. And Oh, there's so much that are gonna. There's so much that's gonna be
So much
addressed,
needs to be explained.
and I'm really looking forward to it. And all these incredible power, just so much stuff, so good. And his brother's show, so good. Just everybody's great. Every performance on that show, it just makes me giggle. It's
Makes you
so good.
giddy.
And this new one that I'm working on, I can't talk about it, but
He can.
it's gonna be. I'm really enjoying my time on it. It's not gonna be like. Well, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
You can't talk about it. You're sworn by code. You can't talk about it because
No.
then we might get in trouble if you say.
You
something
might get in
again.
trouble.
I just
That's
You
even
might
like-
get in
worse.
I
trouble,
like
then we might get
acting.
in trouble.
Well, we
Yeah,
would.
I like acting,
don't
and
know.
it's fun to act in that show that I'm acting in.
We don't want you to get in trouble.
No, be a good boy like Shinra.
Okay.
Shinra.
How has the entertainment industry changed since you begun your career?
How has it changed since I began? Well, the internet is way. Gosh, it's so easy to get in contact with certain people that I would otherwise have. Okay, so just as an example, when I got started in the year 2000, because I'm old, my headshot was black and white, and I looked like I was 15. And it cost so much to have 200 prints made. And that's the only way casting directors would see anything. And if you wanted to have an audition, you had to record CDs existed. So you'd record a CD and then mail it in a package, all fancy, with a headshot, all this stuff. You'd spend like $1,000 sending all these audition packets out. And nowadays, you can email. Or even better, you can just add somebody on the tweet and get cast in something. It's crazy. I love like it's very connected. At the other end of that spectrum, we're so hyper connected. Uh, it's easy to just be on your phone all the time, just trying to answer emails constantly. There was a time when, you'd go home and you'd check your fax machine and you'd check your voicemail. And that I haven't checked my voicemail in years.
Wow, you
I
better-
bet that's full.
very full.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all like it's emails, it's texts, it's other stuff like Twitter and it's all these messaging services for better or worse. I think it's mostly better just because it's you can get back so much faster in that regard. And the internet has just, like being able to record and be connected to the internet with my phone, recording a session for a video game company in Australia. That is incredible. That would have cost like $10,000 20 years ago, and it's like nothing now. It's incredible. It's an equalizer. The internet has become this awesome equalizer for a lot of people. Very democratic.
Especially for John Swayze. We did an interview with John
He
Swayze.
was our first voice actor that we interviewed from last
He
year.
said when he started out, there was VHS tapes. I said, I was there. I remember those.
I had a reel on a VHS tape. Boy, that was not a great reel though, so it's fine.
But what changes do you predict for the future?
Well, I think so. I like the idea of you can even go to a studio, a local studio, and record for any project anywhere. That's very helpful for particularly like for some LA actors that work with Funimation. Even microphones have gotten more accessible, and I would argue for the price you can get a lot better than what you could like 20 years ago, just because you have like reviews and stuff where people can tell you how to do stuff. It's very yeah. Or like say for example, like for a YouTube video, you don't know how to use a particular piece of software, but this person can show you in 20 minutes how to totally figure out how to like from start to finish complete a project. That's super. I mean, what used to be like websites on how to get into voice acting, now there's like, video tutorials, and there's so many of them, and you don't have to be in one place for a bunch of people to work on a project now. It's very like open source, you can get a bunch of people working on a particular project. um I can only see more of that happening. I'm really excited for that because I want to work with people all over the world, and that's just great. um we get to figure out like platforms and media streaming platforms as everything kind of gets more a la carte. It's got pros and cons. Hopefully there's more pros than cons, because like there's 25 different streaming services. Where are you
Oh
gonna be able to
gosh.
find things?
So
There are so
many.
many. I
I mean, yeah, like Disney might buy everything and then it'll all be on one thing, but do I
that's what
really
I have
want
right
that?
now. That's the only thing I have right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah. My wife got that Disney just because she wanted to watch all the
Oh
musicals.
no,
Oh.
I want to watch all the Marvel stuff. I cannot
Yeah, that's
wait
American.
for the new
Yeah,
Marvel
for me, it's the
shows.
Marvel, all the Disney classics that I grew up with, and then maybe some of the new stuff that they put out. But that's the only reason why I got it.
I've seen all the Disney classics.
So what do you guys think like of the future of like do you have any hopes like in the future it might make things easier or more difficult for a particular like voice work or cons, I mean like cuz you've got Unlocked going right now. That's pretty interesting,
Yeah.
right? I
Yes, we
mean,
have
Uh huh.
Unlocked going
We got
right
Unlocked. We're
now.
on Twitch as well.
We
Um,
also have a YouTube channel.
yeah.
We're on
like
Twitter.
it'll be all one big hologram. You just smush your face into your phone and then you're like, hello.
Yeah. I would say I can speak for both of us that the the future can really hold a lot of mysteries, but I feel for both of us, we want to keep doing what we're doing. Maybe
Mhm.
try to at least maybe get a panel at a con eventually in the future for us. That would
Mm.
actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, and plus, I'm still trying to save money for us to get
Our
an actual
an actual
studio,
because we use our old school studio, which is what we're in
which
right
is an
now.
hour away from where we live.
Nice.
Still
Yeah.
working on that. Our studio possibly have like con appearances because a lot of people that stream and stuff have their own panels. We would like to eventually get our own panel and also interview more voice actors. Because I always say this all the time when we stream and we're talking about our show. We are fans first, critics second, because we love anime.
Mhm.
We love it for the, for the characters, the plots, the stories, and even for the people that are behind these characters. A lot of people learn life lessons from just watching anime, not just from maybe
Yeah.
stories or whatever that are with actual people. When you think about it, anime characters prove a lot more stories than regular people.
Because I remember when I was a kid, there really wasn't that much anime around. I mean, there's Astro Boy and Speed Racer. That was about it. But you know, the
Yeah, and
cartoons.
beta copies of Akira.
Yeah.
Well, that came out a little bit later.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid in the 70s,
Oh, you put
Oh.
us on hold for a minute.
I
Yeah,
lost
you
you.
hit
I'm back.
hold and thinking like, oh, what happened? We lost it for a minute.
Got. Okay.
oh,
Oh, sorry. My technology. See, that's the one thing about being on a phone. Ah.
You're like,
Oh,
what
got a
happened?
call.
I go like, oh, there he is.
Whoopsie.
I was a kid in the 70s and was growing up and watching Scooby Doo and all those cartoons, which would actually teach you a lesson. Which now you watch anime, that also teaches you a lesson. The cartoons that they have now,
Garbage.
it's pure garbage.
I call garbage.
It is. I'm
They
sorry.
ruined my childhood, most of them. Like, with all the reboots and stuff going on, I'm thinking, what have you done to this show? You just flat out just slapped Rainbow Happy Joy Joy on it and just shoved it in everyone's face. The only cartoon that probably hasn't changed is SpongeBob.
Even the movie, it's gone full 3D.
But
You never
it
know.
looks good. It's They didn't change. They didn't
It did.
change
It
anything
did.
with
It's
the
the writing
characters'
that, yeah, the
designs
writing
or
didn't change,
anything. They
fortunately.
kept it the same despite
Yeah.
it going 3D. Now, if they would have changed
Yeah.
the whole outlook of how all the characters look, then yeah, you would have a riot on your hands.
Did you know they have a SpongeBob
Mhm.
musical?
Yes, they do. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's
They
really
even did a
good. It's
live
really
action
good.
episode with some of the voice actors that voice their characters
Yes.
in it.
Oh, it's
That
really
was
funny.
My
It's
funny.
brother,
really
my brother
surreal.
recorded it.
Yeah.
Tom Kenny acting like SpongeBob. Pure
Tom
gold.
Kenny.
Ah!
But my son, yes, I have a son. He would watch Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Yes. Love that. It was so weird and kooky, but it was funny.
To me, it was dumb and
Weird.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It really was.
I mean, one of the cool things about anime, I feel like a lot of storytelling has kind of moved over, maybe out of American animation studios to other countries, just because like they've realized that you don't have to tell a traditional cartoon story. Like I feel like a lot of times we kind of get trapped in American animation to tell these traditionally cartoony stories,
Yeah.
right? with with I know some anime has gotten a little, factory systemed, but there's still like a lot of opportunities to tell stories, adult stories. Just you can be fantastical or not at all fantastical in anime, and I really appreciate that. Like people are willing to watch that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, gosh, there's lots of different. I mean, I know there's a lot of high school, but there's also slice of life shows. I mean, I was working on Stars Align,
I
which is another
love
great
that
anime that
one.
recently happened.
The last
Yeah,
episode. Oh my gosh, such a
yeah,
cliffhanger. Why? I already know what's gonna
yeah.
happen. I
Stars
just
Align. I
need
was
more.
yeah, Itsuki. I was one, not the main character, but man, it was just
You were
such
a
a
kid with a
great
bowl
time
cut.
with all these people. Yeah, yeah, exactly. A kid with a bowl cut, and
Literally
he
a bowl
everybody
cut
had these.
haircut. That's the character he played.
Yeah, and they had these intense. It's about technically about tennis,
Hmm.
soft tennis,
Boys soft tennis.
but it's definitely everybody's home life is just a wreck.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what it's really about. And it was that it was just a surprise when I saw the full episode. I was like, wow, this is compelling. It's complex. I like
Yeah,
it.
I enjoyed the plot and how they kind of introduced all the boys together, then kind of diversed each of them, seeing how their life at home is not all, sunshine and rainbows. And I'm thinking like, wow, these guys have it rough. And I thought the
Oh.
team.
The poor creator of the show. I mean, there's all kinds. I mean, if you've been on his Twitter, yeah, the poor drama that happened all around. Just yeah, because it just kind of it ends when it ends, right? Like episode 12.
Mhm.
It's a quite an ending.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, wait, okay, there's a backpack, a knife being purchased. You're like, uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
It just went. It
You
went
wanna
from
see
happy
more.
and light, and the team almost winning, and the next thing you know, it goes down a real dark path.
He just asks, like, come on, let's make another season.
better.
It might take a while. But look at it this
Yeah,
way.
that's another thing too. A lot of good animes that come out or produced usually have just one season of 12 episodes. And then you think like, "Oh, okay. Like this is really good." But the thing is that they don't make another season unless the fans bring it up constantly. But that's another thing. You go like, "Okay, this is really good. When's the next season coming out?" And they go like, "Oh, we're
Yeah,
not making another
could you
one."
imagine, like, with Fire Force, if that happened? Because it ends on kind of a, like, here we go. Boy, that would be
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Yeah, that'd be something. What was my question? Gosh darn it! Now I forgot it. I lost my train of thought for a minute. Now I know. Now I got it. So I forgot it. Then I remembered. So, were there any shows that you wish you could work on, that you wanted to work on, that you haven't worked on already?
So, yeah, well, I'm thinking about things that I haven't worked on, and I'll just start with the first show that I wanted to work on ever since I got into town, and that was, I mean, Dragon Ball. I remember growing up, it's like, man, that would be an awesome show, like if ever I did a show, I gotta figure out how to get on Dragon Ball. At the time, it was Dragon Ball Z. When I saw it, it's, man, that's incredible. And uh, I got that through some auditions, and it was a big surprise when I got it for me. I ended up doing three other characters on the super
Yeah, we
part,
saw that.
and
You
man,
like
it just
used three characters.
when when I got that, I was like, I did it. I don't have to do it. Like I made it. I don't have to do anything. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna retire because I was like, this is as high as I'm gonna go. I
Throat
mean, come on,
rippers.
that's a dream right
You
there.
had a lot of. I saw your characters and be like, oh, yeah, I bet his voice was shot after doing those guys.
Yeah, classic show. You just want to scream as loud as you can. That's what you aim at when you're aiming for Dragon Ball. You just want to go full chest and scream as loud as possible. And then once I did that, I was like, wow, well, what else can I do? That's pretty great. And then,
Yeah, just
because when you say, oh, I work in anime, or, I do voiceover stuff, and then they start just kind of rattling off stuff like, well, no. But then, like, I did, fairly recently the My Hero Academia. That's also like one of those bucket lists. It's like, oh, I got to do that. And then that was pretty satisfying to be able to get on that show because I was a big fan of the show anyway, and just posters, and it's really, it's in the zeitgeist right now, and it's just nice to, you see posters with all this stuff. I was like, man, I actually worked on that one. It's pretty satisfying to get in on that. Um, I mean, hmm, like those are like for sure. Dragon Ball was like my bucket list thing. Now at this point, I want to get on like if anything was possible, I'd love to get in like a Studio Ghibli picture, like some new awesome movie, film, anime project. Uh, Me growing up, I always wanted to do, just voices in cartoons and stuff anyway. So my big bucket list at this point, if I could get on to it could be anime, it could be some kind of traditional animation. I want to do like Mel Blanc, where I just am 20 characters on a show. That would be incredibly satisfying. It's just the high kid to the low to some big dude. I just want to be everything like in an episode, and that would be a real technical challenge for me and really fun. That's kind of my next. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I don't know, but I want to somehow swing doing something like that. That would be incredible.
got one, or
Uh,
do you want me to go again?
I have like a list of questions.
It's the same list that we used last
I
year.
know, I know, I know.
We made this list. Well, she made the list. I didn't. She made all these questions, and she's just trying to look through them.
What would you say is the
Mhm.
most difficult part of being a voice actor?
Screaming.
I don't think that's the most difficult part.
I feel like it is.
I think the most challenging part for me every day I go in is not only making sure that I've been doing, things that have utilized my diaphragm and screaming for lots of things. So that's hard. But doing it as sincerely as possible, as believably as possible. That's always the biggest not a bad challenge. Like that's what I want to bring every time. I want it to be as real as possible. And according to the internet, I don't always succeed. But what can you do, right?
The critics aren't always right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, if you want to feel bad about life, just go to any comment section on a YouTube video. Don't worry, it's fine. I don't. But yeah, yeah. Just making sure I'm as sincere as possible, because it's a real challenge, because you see a little bit of the source material. Sometimes if you're lucky, you get the manga, and you can do a lot of research. Like with Fire Force, I've been very lucky because there's a lot. I've been able to, through the production side, get access to the mangas and other stuff like that, just to kind of get some backstory about where I'm gonna be with a character, and you don't always know that. So things like, I mean, this is just what you get through, like acting workshops. You want to find as much subtext and realism and being as grounded as possible. And you got to do it really fast because, you've got, if you've ever just, this is your first time recording a character, you've just got to use all of your tools that you've gained through, training and other roles and your history of stuff to just create like this believable breathing character out of nothing. You may not even have, they may not even have released the Japanese version yet. So you are just creating something that fits into this place, and that's a great challenge. That's what I always strive for, that sincerity of real, while also screaming as loudly as possible.
Okay. Crap. Now he just looked at me to go
Yeah,
like,
go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know you got
So
lots of
you like
questions.
are
Go
hoping to get
ahead.
you're trying to get conventions, like that's a good thing that you're hoping for in the future. Um, I'm kind of new at the game of like with named role characters, and I'm also kind of aiming at conventions this year. It's been an interesting process getting that going. I've got like a great rep. um, they're booking some unannounced, as of yet announced conventions in 2020, but that's a whole new process for me. I've done like this many, just kind of as a convention pops up, I'd show up, but I'm really aiming at a lot more conventions next year or this year and next year. Kind of it's a slow start with all that stuff, but uh, that's an interesting kind of a murky swamp of trying to figure out all that stuff for myself. It's nice to have like assistance from like representatives, but it's so cool to watch people as they start to make requests for conventions and stuff like that. That's something that I'm hoping for a lot more in this year. Um, but it's really awesome to see like all my people, mostly on Twitter, just kind of starting to support me and support their other favorite fans to bring them to conventions. It's really heartening to see people lift other people up, because I don't do this myself. Other people are bringing me up the
Oh yeah.
entire way.
Yeah. You never forget where you came from. I feel that's where a lot of people forget sometimes. They say, like, never forget your roots, because if you do, then, then you're just kind of.
Then they'll forget you.
Yeah. Pretty much that. I do have another question. So, are there any voice actors that you would like to work with? Like any other ones besides the one that you worked on with My Hero Academia, Stars Align, or Fire Force?
You know, if you're listening to or watching the credits of a lot of the animes that I've done, it's incredible to see folks just kind of popping up that like the first, you got Todd Habercorn and just so many incredible people that I have magically already been able to work with in anime. Like, it's shocking once I see the
I was
credits.
gonna say,
Or
have you ever
uh,
met him?
Yeah. Have you met Mr. Hapacorn?
She's a big fan of his.
I I think I might have met him once, but it was a while back. Like, that's just the
So
magic
you
of
saw a glimpse of him, is what
voiceover
you're
stuff.
saying? You just happened to see a glimpse
I'm,
of an Asian
I
man
may
with
have.
spiky black hair?
I may have even. I mean, there's a lot of people that when you, especially when you're getting going. There's so many incredible actors, and there's like a lobby. Sometimes there's a waiting area when somebody shows up, and you just go hi, and then maybe you shake a hand, and then that's it, and then you're off into a different booth, because there's like 8 different recording studios in the area, yeah, like in Funimation itself. It's interesting. Um, I mean, I've met a lot of anime heroes, like, because you're talking about Eric Vale. It's just funny. It's almost unreal when they're just talking, and we've already worked with each other, like Ian Sinclair,
Oh my
or
gosh, we want to talk to him.
Colin Klinkenbeard. She's also on Fire Force. That I remember
Colin's
that too. I
incredible.
forgot her. I
I
forgot.
was
I'm thinking like, wait, Eric Vale, Caitlin Glass, and then another OG. Who was it? Then boom, Colin Klinkenbeard. When you mentioned her like for the first time, and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, wasn't Colin? Yes, Colin Klinkenbeard was on Fire Force too. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I've worked with all these. Yeah, and then I'm working with them as an actor, and then sometimes they're directing me. It's a it's the world is smaller than you think. When you're an outsider, you think, oh, all these and then at some point, like it's weird. Particularly like if a show like Fire Force happens, you might just cross each other in the hall, and you just got to be cool because you're not just like you're you. Do you know that you're you?
That would probably be me if I was walking.
This is
Yeah,
weird.
that would be me if I was walking the halls of Funimation and I saw Eric Bell go like, "It's America from Italia." I would have pointed that out right away.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, "It's you, Arthur Boyle."
That's just blasting everybody's eardrums
Yeah,
out on
I
Twitter.
I would.
Not Twitter, but Twitch.
I just said Twitter.
Yeah, that's the magical halls of or just and just in traditional any kind of medium like in TV and film. I've gotten to meet some incredible people, but when you're there, you gotta be cool.
You can't let your
You just like
your
yeah, yeah.
fan person out.
You can't let your inner fanboy or fangirl out. I would
No,
blow.
then that's
I would blow
weird.
the roof
They
off
kick
the
you off
place.
set, and you gotta call cops. And, yeah,
I probably would be that one person of being like, you gotta keep it professional. You gotta keep it professional. Next thing you know, I see someone that I know from an anime.
Todd
like,
Habercorn.
Yes!
Mhm.
It would be Todd Habercorn and make her go nuts.
No, it wouldn't be just Todd. I also go nuts and see Caitlin Glass and shake her hand. You know, when you see that one character like shake their hand and they don't let go, that'd be me.
You know what's funny with Caitlin's awesome, by the way. I've had the opportunity to like work with her in lots of different things. The first time before I got fully into anime, she was, like I said earlier, working at a dinner theater, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I do some anime and video games and stuff." I was like, I've heard your voice and like it's just tickling my ear, and then of course like you turn on like Street Fighter 4 or whatever it is. It's like, oh my gosh,
That's you.
that's so cool. But like I got to know her as a person before I thought of her as some you know awesome celebrity, incredible talent kind of thing. So I mean, even in that show, she was doing like a killer German accent. So I mean, I know like it's incredible, like incredible skills and talent. And then I've gotten to do some. She's directed me in like several fun shows. And yeah, she's got a great, almost like 99.9% of the people that I've worked with are people that I'm happy to work with. Like every day, it's a very it's a very professional but also friendly environment where people are trying to, because everybody's we're all just actors, and actors are incredibly self-conscious. But we're very also like supportive in general, so like everybody's like trying to lift each other up along the way, and that's just it's great. In terms of my own personal heroes, as an actor, I loved. He's not around anymore. This is old school. Don Knotts.
Oh man, I know who he is.
I
I know who he
yeah
is.
Apple Dumpling Gang, Three's
Yep.
Company, Andy
Yep.
Griffith Show. I met him, and this was like 2002. He was a little on the old side at this point. He was a little
Yep,
older.
yep.
But my gosh, I just wanted to become. I didn't want to. I wanted to be cool, but I really secretly wanted to be his best friend. I just wanted to walk up and hug him. He just looked so cute.
And you gotta be professional. So we
Yep.
all do eventually.
I didn't want to break him. He was rather old at the time. Poor fella. He's awesome. I love Don Knotts. He's one of my personal heroes. I'm a little muppety myself sometimes. Yeah. If you ever see like any behind the scenes stuff, like particularly on Funimation, there's like a inside the episode for number 24, the last one of the season. There's a little bit of footage of me recording. I get a little bit muppety. I do. I'm a very physical. I physicalize whenever I act a lot, especially when it gets really intense and there's punching and stuff. I'm just like a lunatic in there, while perfectly keeping my mouth right here on the mic. So I'm like incredibly focused, but also like I just look crazy.
So, what kind of projects would you be like to be involved with in the future?
Well, let's see. I would like to do some more theater, but like a big show, but that's like it just doesn't seem exactly realistic right now for me, just because like my schedule is a little crazy. That would be like a dream, just to kind of be able to have that nice, working with other people, that slow rehearsal process. That's always great. That would be nice. But like in terms of big projects, I'd love to do. Um, I'd like to slip into some other like animation projects. I mean, who wouldn't want to do like a Pixar movie or something like that? That would just be like I want to be. All I want to do is every character ever. Like that's
Every
all.
character
I want
ever.
to. Yeah,
That is
I
a
love
goal.
working. I love being challenged. I don't have any. My wife, she says, "Oh, what's your dream role?" I'm like, I don't know. I just want to be able to be challenged by multiple roles. Uh, I don't like being necessarily like smashed in a box of doing the same kind of role over and over again. Like I appreciate the opportunities to be able to do that, but I love variety, and so I've got a little bit of acting ADD myself. I love just kind of bouncing around to different projects. And that's kind of the nature of acting, You're always doing something else, something a little different. So right now I'm very happy with that process. And it's always this big unknown because, like, I have no idea necessarily what I'm going to be doing next month. But like magic, because of all the things that I've done and all the seeds that I've planted and all the people that I've worked with, like my schedule just magically falls into place with projects. It's amazing. And also I have two agents that help.
Oh my goodness.
Agents are key.
Hey,
Trying to think what to ask Mr. Derek Snow, the snowman. um,
There's my list.
yeah, more of your list that you have. A gigantic list.
My list of people that I would love to interview.
Oh, well, Derek, if you have any questions for us, we've been asking you most of the questions. If you have any questions for us, feel free. And of course, our camera person, our camera fellow.
wee. Let's see. Uh, are there? See, what part of the world are you in? You're in
Ohio.
Yeah.
The Buckeyes.
Ohio.
Buckeye State.
Excellent. I mean, there's probably some quality, local production areas. I mean, you said you guys worked in TV and stuff. Like, are there any? When I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I
Oklahoma.
managed to put together a children's TV show. Like, it's amazing what you can like with your community. Like, the weirdest stuff can happen. Are there any like strange little projects that you would like to work on? Like, you've got this show specifically and like being able to interview other people. But like I said, I've got ADD. Are there any other fun projects that you might be willing to put forward?
We're still trying to actually attend a con. We were supposed to
Yeah.
attend Ohio Con this year, but we didn't get the chance to go.
I had to work the night before, and
She didn't feel good.
Mm.
I didn't get any sleep.
Got to be good to
I
yourself.
didn't get any sleep, and I called her and I said, I don't think we're gonna go this
gonna
year.
Yeah, but
I apologize to her.
yeah, we're still working on trying to go to. We're mostly trying to focus on conventions that are here in our area, and if we do have to spend money to go, like out of our state and into another state, we would have to save up a lot. We just don't get paid enough for our jobs.
Yeah.
But it's a
reason
work
why
in
I'm
progress
saving.
for us. It's a work in progress for us to try to go to more conventions and then possibly meet even more voice actors and also try to build our brand as a whole. Like we're still trying to actually get merchandise, trying to get that rolling.
There's not a lot of
Sweet merch.
There's not a lot of studios in our area.
Mm-mm.
Only studio that we know of, there's one voice studio. Don't know where it is. The guy we went to school with, he knew where it was because he was getting work through there. So
Mhm.
he didn't tell us where it
Yeah,
was.
we wanted to like.
He wanted all that sweet work for
Yeah,
himself.
we're like,
Well, I don't
figure it
think
out
we
for
would have.
yourself.
I don't think we would have interrupted his work because he
No.
has that low, deep voice
Very,
like Chris Sabat
like
does.
very low, deep voice
Yeah.
like this, but somewhat like that.
He's got like that announcer's voice.
Yeah, the deep announcer's voice that you hear go like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event," something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
We're gonna
Yeah.
rumble.
Yes, the
Really,
rumble,
really
low rumble
deep,
voice.
Low, yeah, very low.
But he goes, but he
He goes by
He's-
Barry the White Wizard.
if you catch him on Twitter,
It's funny.
he goes by Barry the White Wizard. He plays.
Noted.
He sometimes plays Dungeons and Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a he
He
does voiceover work,
Mm-hmm.
commercials, and he's an announcer for.
Oh, he's announcer for Game Arena, isn't he? Or-
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So he's got a nice gig going on.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's before I got into anime. I was doing a lot of that stuff. I mean, there can be good money if you know the right, the production people.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he
It
did.
takes.
We
yeah.
didn't.
We went to Game Arena once.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. I mean, we saw behind the scenes, and
It was a lot.
they had like 2 boom operators going at the same time, and I was
Mhm.
like, and one of the guys asked us, "Okay, hey, what's going to be the first shot of this boom right here?" I said, "Well,
Would it be of the gameplay,
the
stage?
that picture right
The
there."
stage?
No, it would have been the Game Arena
Yeah,
symbol on the stage, and then they would have panned out.
and out everywhere. We know some of our camera angles.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, when I worked in TV production, I did a lot of like live switching and floor directing and gosh, all kinds of stuff. I was kind of like the technical dork, so I ended up doing a lot of motion graphics and design, which I got super burnt out on.
Well, what they
Like I love being able to document. I love camera operating and capturing stuff. But unfortunately, I was too good at motion graphics, so they'd always just kind of push me over there because apparently that's difficult. But I didn't like doing it.
well, the one thing they had me doing, the last thing they had me doing was being a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And
You got to tell
that
people what
is
to
the
do.
most difficult thing to do because number one, you have to put your input on everything.
everything.
That
Mhm.
means
Yeah.
what's going on in said video,
What has to be done?
the editing, and
You're like the big middleman that just kind of like make sure, are you the directing? Are you doing this? And inevitably something is always
like
going
that,
wrong.
like that very
Yep.
strict teacher that looks over everybody, make sure nobody's cheating. That's what a
Yes.
producer
Yeah.
is.
and they were telling the one guy in the video, look over here at this camera, and I shoved the camera guy over to a different angle. I said, get him from this angle. You look down, have the camera look down on him because he was laying on the couch. We were doing what was it, Bob Marley
Yeah,
video?
with a Bob Marley little tribute video thing.
And we were doing Bob Marley video, and he was laying down. It was what the song was?
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Excellent.
And he was, saying some of the words, and he was
lip singing.
lip syncing, and looking at the camera. And it turned out to be a better angle than the front angle.
Yeah, we had like first it was like a front view of him laying on the couch, but then we turned the angle to where it looked like it was facing him sideways and someone's looking at him, go like, look at me, I'm happy, and go like, that was a way better angle than the first shot that we put in, but we put in both shots.
See, the producer knows what she's talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was a hard roll, but she filled it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite. So I did like a lot of sports and stuff, college sports, high school sports. I did some commentary editing, and then I magically got into doing production for this kids show, where I was one production meeting led to another, and then somehow I became like the main person on the show. I was like the on camera star, but I was also writing and producing, which was incredibly stressful
Oh gosh.
because I mean, there's also like you still have a boss, so like, but everybody's bringing all the stress to you, and then you're also, the main person on the show, so you've got to, while you're on camera, you've got to be happy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially with little kids all
Oh, yeah.
around.
Uh-huh.
It was fun, but oh man, there was like it's hard to deal with the drama and the stress of trying to memorize a show, or like even do some rewrites with other writers and stuff. It's just oof. Producing is not
Tits.
easy. Yeah, it's intense. There's a lot of battling that gets to happen, a lot of politics that comes into
Oh
play,
yeah.
Big
for
time.
sure. I always liked just live events because no matter what you did, at some point the show would end, whether I was.
Whether you were happy
No
or
matter
not,
what, it's over.
It's
over.
over when it's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Did you have any?
Yeah. In the future, I might get back into TV production, but I doubt it. It's so much nicer to just be a person that reads stuff. I'm telling
Did
you.
you have any other questions for us?
Any other questions at all?
Hmm. I'm happy. What kind of? I'm not going to ask you what kind of tree you would be. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I'm not hiring anybody
I don't know
today.
why. I had the weirdest coincidence though. For some reason, I was trying to find a shirt, and lo and behold, we're interviewing Mimic from My Hero Academia, and I'm wearing my Deku T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, are there any
Ultra.
roles that you auditioned for and you didn't get them?
So many. I have
Can you name a few?
auditioned.
Like one or two.
Oh. Oh goodness. I mean,
If you want to, I'm not making you.
so like,
Well,
I mean, just for example, like for I feel like if I wasn't cast, it's just what it was meant to be. But I auditioned. I've auditioned for many video games, and when I first got into doing anime, I auditioned for lots of projects, and for some of those, I'd show up with the producers and stuff, and it's not necessary. Like sometimes it's about talent, but it's also there's lots of things that come into play on why you do or don't get cast. It could be availability. It could just be whether the director likes you. Who knows? Or they like somebody else just more. I don't know. Or they look like a person. Have you ever watched anime and then you see the character and then you see the person and you're like, they look just like that person. That's just crazy.
yes.
It happens a lot. I feel like some of the directors are just like, yeah, he's got blue hair. Make him the blue hair guy.
Okay. I think the only time I've seen that was when it was Disney's Princess and the Frog. They actually made Tiana's face look exactly like the actress that was voicing her.
Mm.
But it's not wrong. I bet Todd probably gets mistaken for Ling Yao all the time because he's Asian.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trying to think of like as an actor, I audition a lot. Like just like for example, like in a week, I've done like 20 auditions. It just happens. And then I feel like for every this is good math. For every 10 auditions, you get one, but it's more like every like 30. I've auditioned. Like, the thing is, like with an audition, you go in knowing that it's kind of a numbers game. So I usually I audition, I give it my all, and then I forget about it.
Mm.
So that's just kind of the part of the process. Like I don't hang on. If I was up for something, even if I was close, I wouldn't. I'm not sure if I'd want to know. I don't want to be number two. If I'm not cast, it's great. I don't I'm like. You're almost that
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I know there were in some instances where they auditioned for one part, but they said, "Well, we thought you would fit best as this person."
Oh yeah, yeah, that's happened. I because when you go in, oh, say for example, most of the stuff I do, I audition from home because we just live in that great future where I have a home studio and I can just record. For a lot of stuff, particularly through Funimation, especially when I was getting started and the directors didn't know me yet, I would show up live in person for an audition. And that's good because you can kind of get a feel and they can direct you and they can kind of literally see your process. And that's great. It happens a little bit now, but now I've just done enough work where people just kind of, either cast me or bring me in specifically for an audition. But you get like a book, and there's like 20 roles in this book, especially if it's a new
I've
show.
heard of that book.
And then you just kind of you're picking like three. You're like, I'm gonna be this guy and this guy. I don't know, and this guy. And so you just pick these random three characters. You have no idea what's going on, and you're just making some choices. That's what they're looking for is choices. And then if you are if they see something else, they'll say, "Oh, can you read for this one?" And you've never read it before. You have no idea what's about to happen, but you just, yeah, I can do that. And then you just kind of go all in, and then suddenly you're a singing Pomeranian, right? Because like with that particular show, I had this other guy in mind, and I don't at this point because I don't even remember what part I was really wanting, but I just came to love what I actually got booked as. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I know like there've been in particular like there was a One Piece movie that I auditioned for, and I didn't get that, but in later the director of the the various One Piece stuff, they without an audition they booked me for something. So it was kind of like a seed planted that it just happens, right?
Yeah. Sorry, we don't mean to laugh. The thing is that my stomach is growling and it just sounds weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's and lunchtime is
I
as
heard
well.
it all the way over
Yeah.
here.
She literally looked at me while you were talking, and then you go, "What is going on?"
But she didn't put the microphone right at the old.
No, I'm not doing. I'm not doing.
What do they call that? Foley. Making Foley.
Yeah,
Foley.
it's called Foley acting.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I obviously need to eat something. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, my phone is very close to dying actually.
All
So
right.
Well, it sounds like we should probably let you go so
Yeah.
that you can charge your phone.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Derek, for stopping by and like
Yeah,
to say anything before you sign
um,
out and maybe give us a shout out.
I'm very thankful for everybody that even knows who I am. It's been quite a process. I love it. I'm having such a great time. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Snoweyes. On Instagram, I'm a completely different name, Studio Sound. There's no Snoweyes available. And my website, yeah, whatever. You can find all that stuff. Just Google me. It'll all come up. If anybody wants to bring me to their favorite convention, all you got to do right at the top of my Twitter, it's got all that contact information. And I would be so happy to visit and maybe, have a panel with you ladies in the future whenever you get, if you guys can get that set up in the future.
Yeah.
To the future,
To the
right?
future.
Yay! I'm very optimistic and life's good. Life's going to keep being good and I'm very excited. Yay!
Yay! All right, Derek. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all have a great one. Yeah, y'all have
You
a great
too.
one.
Bye.
Derek Snow, everybody.
That was Mr. Derick Snow.
Yep. He was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was fun. That was really fun. All right.
Oh my
Wow, we
God.
talked to Derek. Let's see. We talked to him. What was that? We talked to him for an hour. Wow, that was amazing. Derick Snow is awesome. He's a great sport. More anime coming from him in the future. Man, that was fun. That was very, very fun. Despite my stomach interrupting everything.
Growling.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take a break so you can get a snack.
Okay. Yeah,
We're gonna take a short break, so we can get
so we can get our essentials together.
yes.
Okay.
So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I don't think they can go anywhere. Hold on just 1 second. Wait, it's been forever since we've done this.
Just play our intro.
just got finished interviewing Mr. Derick Snow, aka Shinra Kusakabe from Fire Force.
The snowman.
The snowman. And he put out all of his lovely information out there.
Yes.
Follow him on Twitter. I know I do. He's also on Instagram. So, like we've said before, or we're starting to say now, if we want all of our favorite people to come to our local conventions, we gotta write them, bug them like crazy, because
You gotta write them. You gotta tweet them.
email them.
Email them. You got.
You gotta
To
bug
bug
them
'em.
like crazy. Bug them like crazy. And it's funny because I'm trying to think. It was Full Metal Lover. She was on here, and she was asking, was that Nagisa? And unfortunately, that was not Nagisa from Free. That was not Greg Ayres. She said we should interview Vic next. We want to, Full Metal Lover, if you're still watching. The thing is that with what's been going on with Vic, as much as we love Vic, we want his whole situation to blow over first before we do anything with him.
Yeah.
Vic is probably like the top person on our list of people we want to talk to.
Because I've already asked him, and he very politely declined to be on our show.
Yeah, I asked too, and he said no. And we're
And
gonna respect
I
that.
mean, if he's declining us and he declined Nick Ricada, then yeah.
He's not ready to go, fully, to do any interviews. The only interviews that he's done are revolving around his series Star Trek Continues, and that was about it.
Or what he controls on Unlocked.
Yep. And
So
boy, did he have a lot to say. Don't take our word for it. It's already on Twitter. If you guys want to find it, go right ahead and voice your opinions. But that's what he has to say about the whole situation.
So, for those of you who wish to subscribe to our channel and be cool like Silent D Prod or Silent D Productions, we are working towards 100 subscribers.
Now we gone up to 92, which is awesome.
The 100th subscriber will have their choice of John Wick 3 or Spider-Man Far From Home. And so you want to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Slap that like button like there's no tomorrow. And sharing is caring.
Except when it
And
comes to
also, leave your comments below in the comment section. It can either be about your favorite anime or about your favorite anime character.
or possible people that you would like to see via Skype on our show, as we displayed with Mr. Derick Snow, Mr. Snow
Yes.
Eyes. Just to let you guys know, Derick is not the first person that we interviewed. We just stated.
He's our fourth.
He's our fourth. And I hope Kyle is not busy. Kyle Hebert himself, Mr. Kamina, Mr. Sosuke Aizen. Sosuke
Which I
Aizen.
have his autograph.
Yes, she has his autograph. She's got 3. I have 1. It's not fair. Okay? It's not fair. It's not fair.
At least
But
you have Todd Habergarns.
I do have Todd's, but I want another autograph. I want not another autograph from Todd. I want another one from either Vic or Kyle, or maybe, you know what? I might have to suggest that to Unlocked to have Derick Snow do an autograph session on there. But I don't know. I will suggest that to them later. Either way, Kyle Hebert will be with us next week.
Unless
So-
something comes up.
Unless something comes up. But Kyle Hebert will be with us next week via Skype. Wish he was in here in the studio, but that can't work because he's in Los Angeles right now.
He's in L.A.
Yeah. Our first LA actor. Voice
Yeah.
actor.
Maybe it'll be more.
We don't know. Our good buddy Chuck Huber, who was our last person that we interviewed last year, sent out our will send out my info to connect with Apocalypse Otaku. So here's to the future and what it holds for us with VAs
Yes.
being here on this premiere show, because man, do we work hard to get some of these guys on here. Guys,
Ye-
we have yet to interview a female yet.
Yeah, it's been all guys.
It's all dudes. We don't have a problem with that. We
don't.
We would like to hear, a female voice actor. Maybe
Wendy Lee, come on.
Wendy Lee.
Please.
I would like to have the lady that voices Naruto, because she's voiced Naruto for years.
What? Wendy Lee has been voice acting for years.
Yeah, but not the same character as I think her name is Megan Freeman. I think is her name. I can't remember. All I
And
know
then
is that
there's Michelle Ruff. She
Mhm.
played Rukia.
Brittany Burkowski, Caitlin Glass. I would like to interview her. She's pretty cool. Caitlin Glass is awesome. There's so many.
There's so many.
Like, there's so many VAs out there, but again, we can only stretch our message across so much. But either way, we will not stop.
Nope.
We will give you guys, we'll send a message 1 week, wait a few days, then we'll send another one. But we are not going to bug you constantly. If you guys respectfully decline, then that's fine. We understand. Like I've said before with Mr. Derick Snow, fans first, critics second. We won't bring up any dirt saying like, oh, did you recently date that last guy that was voicing with you? No, we're not going to bring that up. We're not going to bring up any drama like that. We are comical women. We're very funny and joyful and serious at times. Like we understand, like, we are not in your typical line of work, but we want to make sure that we respect you guys on how you guys do your jobs. We're not going to drag anything through the dirt and use it against you or anything. So let's get on with the Toonami schedule while I just dumbed the mood down way low.
Okay. Oh my goodness. The Toonami schedule has changed.
Yay! I think they're listening. We don't
It's a good
know.
possibility.
If it is, Toonami,
Yay.
hook us up. Hook us up, please.
You know that means we may have to go down to Georgia.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's down in Georgia?
Yes, the Star Trek Studios.
Anyway,
We'll
back
get
to
that
the
later.
Toonami schedule.
We'll get to that later.
Starting at 8 o'clock. And yes, I am starting at 8 o'clock. You want to know why? Because My Hero Academia starts at 8 o'clock and they're on for an hour.
Whoop, whoop.
And then at 9 p.m., they're hot, they're juicy, and they're always made fresh. And they're on for an hour. Bob's Burgers.
Yum.
And then at 10 o'clock, another show that's on for an hour while she's opening up a bag of cookies on.
Yeah, cookies. They don't have a very versatile selection in the vending machines that we have.
Starting at 10 o'clock, it's Barry's favorite show, That Family Guy. And then at 11 p.m., it is another episode of My Hero Academia.
Woo!
And at 11:30 is Dr. Stone.
Yeah, Dr. Stone and his mute.
And at midnight, Sword Art Online, Alicization, War of the Underworld.
The one show that your DVR forgot to record.
Yes.
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
And then at 12:30 is going to be the one show that is on Toonami right now that Derick Snow is in.
Fire Force! Shinra Kusakabe is awesome.
And at 1 a.m. is Food Wars.
John Gremion show.
The John Gremion show.
He's in it, isn't he? He's in
Well,
Food Wars.
I don't think he's the main character.
No, but he's in it. He plays the French chef. I just forgot Chef Chappelle. I think that's his name.
And at 1:30 a.m. is Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Johnny! Bosch and Steve Bloom and Bryce Papenbrook are all in it.
I watch it every week.
And Travis is in it. Travis Willingham is in it.
Yes?
Didn't we just look up his stuff earlier? He's in it.
Oh, okay.
She forgot that quick, okay? She forgot very
Sorry.
quickly.
I'm focused, all right?
Okay, keep your focus over there, okay?
2 a.m. is going to be Black Clover.
That show is ongoing. It's starting to turn into One Piece. Will it ever end?
Probably not. 2:30 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Yeah.
And at 3 a.m. is Naruto Shippuden.
Yep.
3:30 a.m. is the most depressing show I think anime has ever produced.
And it's getting a second season.
The Promised Neverland.
Ooh. Yeah, don't bother watching. See something really weird.
And depressing. 4 a.m. is Attack on Titan.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say it. Nope, not going there. No, not that. That one question that somebody had said during something about the show.
You mean the Titans being naked?
No.
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for remembering. Yeah. Okay, so after watching Attack on Titan, you can take a half-hour break because it's just Super J on Ball Monsters 9009.
Pooh.
And at 5 a.m., they're on for a half hour. It's Aqua Teen. Not to be confused with Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Mm-hmm.
And at 5:30 is
Samurai Jack.
while she's eating something. Sorry about that.
You got me with Nick Cookie in my mouth, okay?
And that's your Toonami schedule for this Saturday, January the 25th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't forget, it's 3 episodes of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, you got 3 times the academia in your face.
Yeah.
That's fun. All right. Now let's move on to all of these fabulous releases that I read from last weekend to this week. It's manga torture time. Yep.
Torture time.
Yep, torture time. Okay, so we got three releases for the UK, and they're all DVDs. So let's get to it. Cells at Work Collection Blu-ray. Dragon Ball Super Part 10 will be released on DVD and Blu-ray. So, yay, Dragon Ball. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Okay, now this killed me. I'm surprised I survived half of these titles that were mentioned, and my goodness, there was a lot, and some of them just made me question my sanity. Some of them. All right. Okay. A Certain Magical Index Volume 20. A Sister Is All You Need. By the way, these will be releases. These were basically all releases from earlier this week. Yeah. A Sister Is All You Need, light novel, Volume 6. Angels of Death, Volume 9. Oh, wait. Yeah, Derick was in that one. He was in Angels of Death.
Didn't he play Hermes?
No, that was Kino's Journey.
Okay.
That was when he played the motorcycle. In
Okay.
Angels of Death, he played a doctor that was obsessed with eyeballs.
Oh yeah, peepers.
Beepers, 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 beepers. Oh boy. Okay. Alharu Machine Gun Volume 16. Artifuna From Commonplace to World's Strongest Volume 5. Beastars Volume 4. Black Lagoon Volume 11. Cells at Work Code Black 3. Yep, Code Black 3. Children of the Whales Volume 14. City Volume 7. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody Volume 10. Eclair Blanche. Yeah, that's a title. I'm not even touching it. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3. And then Final Fantasy Lost Stranger Volume 4. Goblin Slayer Volume 9. High School Prodigies Have It Easy, Even in Another World Volume 6. I don't... Yeah, this one really stumped me and made me think. I don't know how to give birth. Oh, brother. I can't with that. Alright, I'm a behemoth. An S-ranked monster, but mistaken for a cat. I live as an elf girl's pet, Volume 1. I'm standing on 1,000,000 lives, 5. I'm Great Priest in Hapta, Volume 1. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon?
Depends.
On the side. World Ontaria, Volume 10. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my levels, Volume 1. Well, it's and then but I maxed out my levels, Volume 1. So they have both of those basically recall I've been killing slime for 300 years, but there's an and a but in both. Okay.
Moving on.
Yep. Himendo Friend La Carte, Volume 2, and then Kimono Friends a la carte. Yeah, a la carte, Volume 2. Levius, EST, Volume 2. Magical Girls Suite, Volume 11. Marcelgo, Volume 13. No Guns Life, Volume 3. No matter how I look at it, it's your guys' fault I'm not popular, Volume 15. Nurse Himoto's Monster Infirmary, Volume 10. Nanaki's Volume 5. Overlord, the Undead King, Volume 2. Yeah. Sailor Moon Eternal Edition 7. Skullface Bookseller Honda Sun Volume 3. Sorry for My Familiar Volume 6. Strike the Blood Volume 14. Why did I say 13? I almost said 13, but it was 14. Teasing Master Tagi Sun Volume 7. The Arctic War Volume 12. The Brave Tuber Volume 2. The Greatest Demon Lord is reborn as a typical nobody, Volume 2. The Hero is overpowered but overly cautious, Volume 1. The King of Fighters, A New Beginning, Volume 1. The Saga of Tenya the Evil, Volume 9. The Seven Deadly Sins, 36. The Way of the House Husband, Volume 2. That is funny. Okay. The World's Strongest Rear Guard, Labyrinth Country's Novice Seeker, Volume 2. Toilet Brown Hanakoku, Volume 1. Torture Princess, Famed Torture Chin, Volume 3. Wandering Witches, The Adventures of Elena, Volume 1. And Zozo Zombie, Volume 6. That was all from Tuesday.
Oh my.
Yeah, and then we got stuff from Australia as well. This is all stuff, and it's all DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff that'll be released in Australia. Basically, this was from yesterday. So, I'm going to go ahead and read it.
So if you people down under, listen up.
In case you didn't hear this last week. Listen up, Aussies. Okay, Angels of Death Complete Series Blu-ray. Boruto, Naruto, Next Generation. See, you got me all screwed up now. I'm confused. Naruto Shippuden, Boruto.
Gosh, I hope Barry was watching this.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Boruto, Naruto, Next Generations, Part 3, episodes 27 through 39 will be on DVD and Blu-ray. And
That
then-
was epic.
Yeah.
You totally flubbed that up.
I
There's
did.
no way.
I flubbed it up so hard. I turned into a Muppet, okay? I had a Muppet moment. That's what I did. I had a Muppet moment. Okay. Double Decker, Doug, and Kai Krell, complete series plus OVA Blu-ray. Goblin Slayer Season 1 Blu-ray and DVD combo, as well as a Blu-ray and DVD combo special edition. Ooh, fun. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord complete series Blu-ray, as well as a complete series episodes 1 through 12 DVD Blu-ray combo pack limited edition. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is on DVD and Blu-ray.
Ew.
Yeah. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Of course it is.
Arrow of the Orion, which will be on DVD and Blu-ray. Radiant Part 1 DVD and Blu-ray combo. Oh, he was a part of that too. Derick was part of that too. Let's see. Restaurant to Another World complete series Blu-ray. Shinran Kagara Shinyoi Master complete series Blu-ray. And then Yu Yu Hakusho complete second seasons episodes 29 through 56 Steelbook Blu-ray. That is a lot. Now we're going to move on to next week. Because that was all last.
Do you have to?
Yes. Yes, I do. Because it's better that way. For me, at least. Okay, so we got next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wow, there's only one thing released on Wednesday. That is sad. All right.
She had a long list, and she's making the list even longer.
Why not? Okay, so on the 27th, let's see. Oh, more DVD releases for the UK. Fun. So for all the people that are in the UK, listen up. Ohana, the Flower We Saw That Day TV series collection Blu-ray. Code Geass, Lelouch the Rebellion, complete season 1 and 2, and also the complete series collection Blu-ray will be released in the UK. So we got season 1 and 2.
I have
on
the complete
DVD.
series.
You have the complete series collection?
Yes, I have the complete series.
Lucky you. So that's going to be released in the UK as well. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas Blu-ray and DVD. Yep, that's actually the name of anime. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Oh, you'll like this one. Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Part 2 Collector's Edition Blu-ray.
Mobile Suit Gundam was Gundam Wing or Mobile Suit Gundam?
Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Part 2.
Yes, it was an excellent series. Very good.
Shar approves. And then...
Oh, it is. It's a really good show because that's what, got, me started on anime.
Mhm.
And it was part of the great big anime movement that, started everything in.
We really should just call it the anime Big Bang.
Basically, yeah, it was the anime Big Bang. That Dragon Ball Z, Ronin Warriors, Sailor Moon.
Rurouni
Those-
Kenshin.
No, Rurouni Kenshin wasn't part of it yet.
Wasn't?
Nope.
Hmm.
They didn't have that on there until Toonami was starting to die.
Ah. So Rurouni Kenshin brought it back from death.
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
They had that on before Toonami came on in the afternoon. And then Toonami was also on in the evening, which was called Midnight Run.
Educational. Well.
Educational, folks. You learn stuff.
Yeah. All right, and then we got Saga of the Tanya the Evil complete series Blu-ray and DVD. That will be on Monday the 27th of this year. Then moving on to the 28th, we got US manga releases. So, A Certain Scientific Accelerator Volume 10, Opso what? Opzims Volume 4. What in the world is that?
It's probably a made up word
It probably is. Because I've never seen a word spelled like that.
because you know most of the Pokemon names are made up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Cardcaptor Sakura Collector's Edition 3. Living Room Hold on. Matsunaga-san 1. My Monster Secret Volume 19. Psyche the Succubus Hungers Tonight Volume 1. Okay. Not even not touching that one. SCP Foundation Iris Through the Looking Glass Light Novel Volume 1. The Dungeon of Black Company Volume 4. The Quintational Quintuplet 7. Tonadora Volume 9. Yokai Girls Volume 9. And Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs Volume 8. So, yes, we heard echoes. That was
Sorry.
my voice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I like hearing myself talk. That sounds nice. Nah. That'll be for Tuesday the 28th.
I wish you weren't talking like this.
Okay, and then there's only one release for the U.S., and this is another manga release for the U.S., which is on the 29th. So, Elven Lied Incubus, Volume 3. So, that's everything else that'll be released.
And that's your manga releases for all of next week.
Okay. All right, now you can move on to your short list.
Okay. All right, so I only have, it's one day, so it's January the 28th. Bludgeoning Angel Dokuru Chan. It's on Blu-ray. That comes out next week. And Bo 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 Bo. That comes out on Blu-ray. Yes, my son used to watch that show too. Boogie Pop and Others complete series. Concrete Revolution complete series. Never heard of that show.
Nope.
It's on Blu-ray Essentials. Galaxy Express 999 Eternal Fantasy Blu-ray. God Mazinger. Or Mazinger. Mazinger?
You sure that's what it says?
It's on Blu-ray. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 5. Limited Edition Blu-ray. They're already catching up to Season 5. That's Golden Wind. Lupin the Third Part 2 Collection for DVD. Episodes 118 through 155 of TV Season 2. Subtitled only. And that's exactly what it says.
Wow.
Oh my. Sayuki Reload Blast.
Blu-ray Essentials.
Blu-ray Essentials.
Julio.
And yes, this is another season of Sayuki for those of you who did not know. They start out with Sayuki, then Sayuki Reload, then Sayuki Reload Gunlock, and now it's Sayuki Reload Blast. I'm not going to say anything about it because I've already watched it. All right, so SSS Grindman. I'm sorry, SSSS. I want to get this right. Grindman. You can either get it on the combo set or Blu-ray. The combo set's going to be limited edition, but the Blu-ray is going to be standard edition.
Nice.
Sugomo, complete series. Oh God, I can't talk. Complete series Blu-ray essentials.
Woo!
Sarune premium edition box set. That means it comes with something.
Something awesome in
it. Premium edition box set Blu-ray. Sarune Blu-ray. Zoku. Oh my goodness, what is that?
Weird writing.
Owari Monogatari. Oh my gosh.
It's all jumbled together. How can you tell what it is?
But either way, it's Blu-ray.
We're just gonna leave it at that for now.
And those are your DVD releases for our January the 28th.
So Tuesday.
Oh my. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the MCU rumor mill.
Rumor mill.
Rumor mill.
Da, 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 da.
Okay. For those of you who have seen the trailer for Morbius, me, it seems like it kind of takes place in the MCU. But the better question is, does it? What do you think?
I say yes.
You're wrong.
It's not.
Sony is giving the illusion that he possibly is, but he's not. Morbius is being produced by Sony only.
Baloney. Now they just screwed up.
Because if it says Marvel Studios, then it's only Sony. But if it says Marvel Cinematic, something like that. I don't
Marvel
know. I don't know
Cinematic
exact
Universe?
wording, but it has something to do with the Marvel logo at the beginning or the end. Not sure which. Also, there are reports that Hulkling, yes, there is a Hulkling, will enter the MCU. The MCU either in WandaVision or Doctor Strange 2. For those of you who are wondering who Hulkling is, well, he's the son of Mar-Vell and a Skrull princess. He also becomes the boyfriend of Billy Kaplan, a.k.a. Wiccan, one of the sons of Wanda.
Yeah, so we got same-sex Marvel or Sony couple going on.
Yep,
Nothing against that.
it's awesome.
Yay, diversity.
Also, Kevin Feige met with Patrick Stewart. You know who he was, right?
Yeah, didn't he play Professor X in all those X-Men movies?
And
Yeah, I know who
he
he
talked about Professor X. Along these lines, Patrick Stewart had said in an interview, if he had not done Logan, so this is basically along the same lines as Hugh Jackman, then yes, he would. But now that he said goodbye to him, he can't really play that character again. So we're not going to have Patrick Stewart.
Nope.
And one last thing.
All right, what is it?
Possibly two.
Bring
The
it.
Thunderbolts will be introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Sweet.
Also, there may be a Thunderbolts post-credit scene in Black Widow.
Ooh.
So there maybe, maybe,
Mhm.
maybe. Not definite on it. Not 100%.
It's a big maybe.
And there's also been talks of Dark Avengers. Nobody's gone in,
Full detail
real,
yet.
in depth about it.
Mhm.
But, it's just been, like I said, rumors.
So don't quote us on it.
It's, unless it's a sure thing, you know, it's basically, that's the reason why I call it a rumor mill.
Mhm.
All this stuff, nothing but rumors.
Mhm.
So it's the reason why I pass it on to you guys, so you guys might be in the know when you go into a movie theater. It's like, I knew about that.
I knew about that before they even put it out there. But either way, don't quote us on what we like she said before. It's just a rumor. We're not entirely sure if it's true. So
I go on rumors that everybody else has been saying. So, if it's not
we just
true,
keep it flowing.
then it's not true.
Mhm. But if it is, then
Yay!
there you go. yeah, that's
Yay!
yeah, that's just how it is. So let's go ahead and get on with our battle.
All right. Oh.
We are down to the finals, everybody! Yay! It's battle time.
We're down to the finals. Yay!
I know, right?
And nobody erased our board. Yay!
Good. Because we
I would have to kill. No, I wouldn't have to. I'd
yeah,
come
we,
close
we
to
do,
it, but
we do not approve. We do not promote murder. Okay, we don't promote it.
I don't condone nor promote it.
No, we don't promote it at all.
All right, so who's the winner?
Okay, so who we're talking about, our winner is if you've been keeping up with us for the past few weeks, it has been the Battle of Magical Girl animes. Madoka Magica versus Sailor Moon. And we are down to 2! It is basically the main protagonist going at it. It is Sailor Moon versus God Madoka. And I actually loaded on the graphics this time. So it's on my jump drive. But either way, it's gonna get pretty hectic in here. Because we actually have...
Please don't say a tie.
It's a tie.
Oh my
I
god!
kid you not. Look at this number right here. Freaking 50-50. Believe you me, guys, this is not the first time this has happened. It is not the first time that this has happened before. It's happened before. When was the last time we had?
Oh my god!
When was the last time that we had?
When
a tie?
Barry was here,
Yes.
and
I think
he was the tiebreaker.
Was that?
He was the tiebreaker.
Was it during our Bleach versus One Piece, or was it My Hero versus?
I think he walked in on it. He did not know
Oh.
what character was what.
Oh, it was. I think it was probably our. No, it wasn't our Bleach versus Black Clover, was it? I think it was.
I think it was because he didn't know.
He didn't know.
He did not know.
He just picked. Oh my.
Don't
God.
shame him for it, but he
No.
did not
He
know the
did
characters
not
of
know.
Bleach.
He didn't know.
He didn't know who Ichigo was.
Mm-mm. But there were a lot of people
How much longer do you have on it?
on that. Oh, it ended. It ended like 2 hours ago yesterday.
Oh, is there any way you can extend it?
Nope. Yeah, I can if I wanted to. I wish I could. But 42 people voted. We got 13 people liked it, but we did actually get comments on it. Finally, we actually got comments on something. But still, it sucks.
That really stinks. You know what? I should have made it.
Because I know who you're gonna vote for, and you know who I'm gonna vote for.
But we're gonna. But
We're still being a tie.
yeah. But here's what we got going on. So Starcloak wrote, even though it's really even, I know I voted against Monica. Isn't it a little bit unfair because Sailor Moon has her happy ending and Monica has her end, which means basically she dies. And then 9,000 put Madoka smashes Sailor Moon. That's her opinion. And then this is Magical Girl fan's opinion. She said, in my opinion, Sailor Moon by herself couldn't win because she's a Mary Sue. She depends on Tuxedo Mask and the other Sailor Guardians the entire time. She's not wrong.
Not really.
And then she
There have been times where Sailor Moon had to depend on herself to get things done.
But then she also put, wow, those results, though. I know. Really? We have to have it 50-50? That's so not fair.
We're going to have to go and vote it again.
Yeah, we're going to have to put it through again. So, no, we are not going to...
We're not going to accept 50-50 this time.
We're not accepting 50-50 this time. And, oh my gosh, if you guys have this app called Anemo, please try to participate. And we're going to do this again. So, we have to end this one. We are not doing a 50-50 like we did the last couple times. We can't have it end like this.
No.
There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. Because this is not going to fly.
No. Not in a... I didn't think it was going to be this heated between magical girls.
It is now.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot have this end in a tie like we've done our previous battle royals. So, this poll will go up again. And this time we must determine a winner.
Even if it's just 51-49, that would be great.
Well, you think about it, it was close when we did our Soul Leader. It was our Soul Leader versus what? Soul Leader versus Ruby. Dr. Stein was almost close to beating Death the Kid, but Death the Kid was ahead by a couple points. It was a close race.
That's what we need.
We need that kind of close race, okay?
We need that kind of closeness.
And speaking of Chuck Huber, like I said before, he passed along some of our info to some VAs, like we said. Do you still have that list of the people that we want? Or like to have? I shouldn't say want.
I have it right here, as a matter of fact.
Yay! Let's read. You can read the list this time. I forgot to mention Dave Matranga. Dang it! When we were talking to Derick.
I don't...
Can you not see the...
Yes, I can. I have my glasses on, thank you.
All right.
Travis Willingham. I forgot to put Dave Matranga on here. I'm sorry, Dave.
Kyle Heber is another one. Do you have him on there?
No.
Darn it.
Travis Willingham, Chris Patton, Greg Ayers, Steve Bloom, Johnny Young Bosch, Lucy Christian, Wendy Lee, Troy Baker, Nolan North, Ian Sinclair, Vic Manana,
Vic, we love you.
Todd Habercorn,
Yes.
Todd, she loves you, Michelle Ruff, Eric Vale, Eric,
Yes.
come on,
Come with us, Eric.
come on,
Oh, it'd be awesome to hear it.
Crispin Freeman,
Yes. You'd be fine with him. Book.
okay, there's one name we can cross off here,
What?
Chuck Huber.
Yeah.
We interviewed him.
Yeah, we can cross that off our bucket list.
Richard Epcar, Richard Hayworth, or he goes by Richard Hayworth or Richard Casino. Do you know who he is?
No.
He only played Rurouni Kenshin.
Well, again, I have to watch it in order to recognize the dude's voice, okay?
Lex Lang, Patrick Seitz, Dave. Oh, I do have my. I do have his name on here. I do have his name on here.
You have Dave Matranga.
Yes. Richard George.
Hmm.
I don't know why I put him on there, but
You put him there. Yeah.
Sparky Thornton or Kirk Thornton or Sean Thornton. He goes by all those names.
Sparky.
Sparky, we want you on here.
Come on down, Sparky.
And Yuri Lowenthal,
Mm-hmm.
who plays the best French accent I have ever heard.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So yeah, you gotta cross off Chuck because we got him last year. So you got Chuck. And it's funny, John Swayze wasn't even on your list, and yet we got
No,
him.
I wrote this list after we had him on.
Oh. And then John Gramion, we got him too. So you can cross off the Chuck Meister off the list.
Okay.
And then, as we mentioned, Kyle Hebert will be with us next week via Skype. So this is gonna be fun. But again, it's
Because I know he's going to talk like Eisen. I can just feel it.
I want to hear Factum, not Eisen.
It's just creepy when he talks like Eisen.
Yeah, we're all gonna have nightmares tonight.
Oh my gosh. No, it's okay because I'm watching it. I'm watching Bleach right now.
So you're starting to get used to it now.
Yes, I'm starting to get used to it again. So next week I'll be prepared.
Good. But again, like as you guys saw, with the little view that we had of Mr. Derick Snow, we work on their time. We work with them on their time, not with ours.
Yeah, because like he said, he had to go in and do some voice recording because we were originally going to be on much earlier.
Mm-hmm. But he got called in to do some extra voiceover work, and he said he might get out before 1:30. So,
Yeah.
But everything worked out. So kudos to us.
Yeah, we didn't have to be here till our regular time.
No, we were just chilling, making sure all of our equipment was in order.
And I thought we were already on.
I know, but we weren't.
We weren't, and then she got a message from him, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let's get on." Are we on?
ahead
She's
and
like,
hop on
"No."
right now. Yeah, but we always have a good time talking with these VAs. The 4 that we have done: Derick, John Swayze, John Gramion, and Chuck Huber, all amazing voice actors.
Yes.
And we work with their time, not ours. We're not, some fancy, podcast.
We don't even have our own
We
studio.
don't even have our own studio.
We have to borrow.
We have to borrow one.
We have to borrow a studio.
Yeah, we're not like some fancy corporate team that tries to get these guys and make them work with our agenda. We work with theirs. Because, they got families, they got lives, and we,
They gotta work.
Yeah, they gotta work, we gotta work. So,
Yeah.
and this is really the only day that we can actually talk to them. Be.
Well, if there's any other day, then we can.
Work with that. We just have to make sure it's a day that this
Yeah. Well, the only day that we could probably come in is on. We can come in to like Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday school is not open.
Mm-mm.
So we can't get in. The building is locked. So we can't get in.
No. We could definitely come, Monday through Saturday is when we can use this place.
It's just there's a few 3 days where
there are other shows that are on before
but
this,
there's one show that was on yesterday that is only on for an hour.
They didn't even change their settings. That's not It's not.
I know, but
I didn't say what show. I just said a show. Okay?
And tomorrow there's another show. They usually are on for 6 hours. And then the show that's on Saturday, he's only on what for? It looks like for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But he plays video games.
He's good at them.
So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we could probably get away with it. But I would have to call off work. She would probably have to call off work, and
Or depending on the day and what time I get off of work, but depending on what time we're working with them. Then,
Yeah.
But other than that, I would either have to call off or I would get off before we have to go do their interview. Either way. You know what's funny? When I look at the little photo that we have in the background, it looks like Ed and Al are sitting at the table behind you. No, literally, look at the photo back there. It looks like they're sitting behind the table. That's kind of cool looking. That's cool. I just didn't notice that until I saw it being like, look, Ed and Al are at the table.
Ed and Elle are sitting at the table behind me.
Are you sure Ed's sitting?
So wrong?
Well, I can say that because I'm short like Ed. So, yeah.
You sure you're not shorter than Ed?
No. I don't even know how tall Ed is.
There you go, because that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows exactly how tall Ed is in the anime.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a guy, so he probably would be a few inches taller than me.
Because
Because
before the end of Brotherhood,
he grows.
no, he was taller than Winry. Remember at the start, Winry was taller than him.
Oh yeah.
By the, I want to say closer to the end, he got
taller than Winry.
He got to be taller.
Mm-hmm. But aren't guys usually naturally tall anyway? Until they hit a growth spurt or something. Clearly, that's what happened when Ed got his arm and his leg back. He went through a huge growth spurt.
Boy. Both my brothers went through a growth spurt.
Brother.
I got two brothers. And my older brother, he went through a growth spurt so fast that he had to wear knee braces.
Wow.
Because his knees couldn't keep up with it.
Man.
But my younger brother, he was growing even into his 20s. So he's like 6'6".
That's like Travis Willingham tall.
Yeah. That's the reason why I said I'm used to that kind of tall.
I wouldn't. Now.
I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, you'd be used to it. I would have to bend back like this and go like, holy cow, you're tall. I'm surprised I wouldn't fall over if I looked up at Travis enough to be like, do you get air miles of how tall you are? How many miles of air do you get?
Do you have to get an extra seat when you fly?
Do you have to duck when you come in the doorway?
He probably does, depending on the house.
My uncle.
Because
one of my uncles does all the time because he's about maybe 6'6", and he has to duck depending on the structure of the house. He has to.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she used to live in this older house.
Mm-hmm.
It was over 100 years old.
Wow.
And my brothers, I told him, I said, you guys can come over, because I was helping her fix
The house up?
No, I was helping her fix Christmas dinner for her entire family.
Oh boy.
Yes, it was 25 plus. And it was just the two of us in the kitchen. We told everybody to stay out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the exact term, but yeah, you get the gist.
The heathens? No.
No, we had to put up a fence for the animals and the
Oh,
kids.
you mean like one of those baby gates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my older brother, not my older brother, my younger brother, he had to duck through each doorway when he was going through the house. He had to duck through each doorway.
Man.
I watched him and I was like, "Oh, you're here." And he's like, "Yeah."
Hey.
Hey.
Now, okay, now I know you and me could fit through that door. Now, if we did get the chance to have Travis actually in the studio, he would have had to die.
Maybe.
He probably would, just
Maybe.
a little bit, maybe. Because he's what?
I don't think he's gargantuan,
No.
but he may have to, duck a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. He'll probably have to go like this for a minute and then kind of go like.
He'll probably look at the door frame and
You go like, yeah, like look down at his feet for a minute, then come in.
so, yeah, that's if.
Yeah.
Big if.
It's a big if.
Big if. Now, I'm not saying that because Travis Willingham is tall. I'm just saying that because he lives in Texas.
And it's a long shot in the dark for us because we're not located between L.A. and Texas. We're in the Midwest.
We're in the Midwest. We're in Ohio.
We're in Ohio. We're not with where all the fancy people are.
We're in the Buckeye State.
We're in Ohio. Nothing fun happens here unless it's a hockey game or a football game. But that's about it.
That's fun. What are you talking about?
But that's the only fun we got. Besides, I'm talking about convention-wise. We don't got a lot going on with convention scenes. Because we're not like a big name city.
It depends on the convention, though.
The only big one that's going to be going on is basically Colossal Con.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about other stuff besides anime.
Well, you should have said something. but yeah, we got some fun stuff going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. Mainly in Columbus, but where I live,
Yeah, not a lot of fun stuff.
where I live,
Nope.
there's not a lot of fun stuff in Delaware.
Yeah, so you have to add new people to the list.
Not Delaware the state. I'm talking about Delaware the city. Ugh. It was once at one time the biggest growing city in the United States.
Wow.
And now it's just like, hey, well, stop.
Splat.
No, they stop people from moving in, building. I'm going to say growing houses. Building houses because, I mean,
If only
it's
it
like
were that easy to
you
grow-
see
to
you
grow
see a
houses.
field, and then next thing you know, you drive past it, and it's like somebody threw a seed out there, and a whole housing development popped up.
Now,
It's like,
you know what would be someone's eventually going to make that technology where you can actually grow a house.
that would be awesome. I would grow a nice house for myself.
Oh, a growable mansion.
Nah, mansion's too big.
I want one.
I would much rather have a small,
little
a
small
small
house.
manageable house.
Okay. But yeah, like I was saying, you need to add more VAs to our list.
We can discuss that later.
Wow, it's 5:33 right now.
Yep.
We wrapped up everything and
With a
Derek
nice
came on-
bow.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Wrapped up everything very nicely. And it was-
Except for the battle.
yeah, except for that. And we said the poll's gonna go up again, and we
Again.
need a winner. We need a winner, dang
We
it.
need a winner this time, y'all. So vote.
We're not going 50-50.
No 50-50 this time. It's got to at least be 51.
One's gotta win.
Preferably Sailor Moon.
That's Char's vote.
That's my side.
Either way, though, we have to come up with a winner. We can't go 50-50 with this. We need a dead set winner. All of our other battles had winners in them, except this one.
Except for that one where Barry had to put his input in.
He did.
Oh, I think that was Bleach and Black Clover. Because he didn't know either one.
He kept making fun of Asta, and you were like, it's pasta.
Pasta.
Pasta. Would someone pass the pasta? But if we had to pick probably another VA to, I'm going to say, like, you know, pick randomly. If we had to go, like, maybe off of animes that we probably watched, who would be a likely candidate?
Jason LeBrecq. Because I've seen him in The Get Backers. That's some anime that's probably not very many people have seen. And he was also in Darker Than Black, and he was also in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
What?
Yep.
Did he play a Soldier A character where he just grunted, yelled, or screamed?
No.
No.
He was the radio guy when the Brig Soldier that was the radio guy.
Oh yeah. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Cool.
I was like, oh, it's Jason LeBrecq. Awesome.
I'm trying to think of some.
Oh, J. Shannon Weaver is awesome.
I would say Max Milton.
I need to write these down.
Like I said, you need to write them down.
Find my paper. Get a pen or a pencil. I don't care.
Just something
To write with. Okay, so.
Yeah, you already got Greg Ayers on there, so he's out.
I think that's how you spell it.
Oh, the guy that versus Lemillion from My Hero. I just forgot his name. Is Rico something?
Huh?
Yeah, the guy that voices Vermilion. Here, I'll pull it up. Find the darn mouse.
Okay, I got Jason LeBrecq and J. Shannon Weaver.
That's another thing.
What?
We need to make some Fire Force Funko Pop. This is the guy that voices
Rico
Hero.
Fajaro?
Yep.
Rico.
Oh, he was in Doctor Stone. He's in that anime Sarazima.
Oh, Fajardo.
Yeah.
We gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thank you guys so much for watching on Unlocked and on Twitch. Like we said before, we stream every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all the time, because that's the time.
Well, not all the time.
Well,
That'd be crazy.
just one day a week.
Just one day a week.
And like I mentioned, Kyle Heaver will be live via Skype with us next week.
Yay!
And we are wrapping up this Magic Girl Battle Royale. We need a winner, dang it!
We need a winner desperately bad.
We need a winner so bad. And also, make sure you guys follow Apocalypse Utopia on Twitter. Follow Mr. Derick Snow on his Twitter as well.
Follow us on YouTube.
YouTube, our big selling platform right there. Try to get to 100 subscribers. If you guys are the 100 subscriber, you get either a copy of John Wick or Spider-Man Far From Home. And also, give Vic all the support that he needs. Backlash or anything. Positive vibes only. Good vibes. definitely, if you guys happen to catch my name on his live stream, it's Otaku Girl from AO. So that will be me if you see just a random person typing like crazy. That will be me. Either way, Vic streams every Tuesday. I'm going to spread my positive message to him as we do every day. Like, Vic is one of the people that we want to interview so badly. But again,
We're waiting patiently for.
we are biding our time for the right time.
We're waiting patiently.
Yes, we are waiting for the right time to ask Mignonia. the
Good
right
grief,
time.
you sound like a villain.
What? Mignon? With me going like this? Mignonia.
No, we are right. We are biding our time.
Well, we are
We're
biding our
waiting
time.
for the right moment.
Yeah, we're waiting for
All you have to do is have that evil laugh.
Now you sound like a villain. Either way, we are waiting for our time for all of these voice actors. We reach out to them, and we go from there. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back here next week interviewing Kyle Hebert himself. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and watch anime until you die. We will see you next week, Otaku Knots. Peace
Next
out.
week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.